ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Saturday night, and it's your host, Untethered Live, Jake Johnson, right here. Your host, me, this guy, Jake Johnson on Untethered Live. Hey, how is everybody? I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off. I got birthday gifts. I got a great show last night. I got this nice shirt on. I got a mustache that is happy with life. How are you doing? Fab Daddy's first in chat, and he says, tell me you got some video. I do have some video, but it's on TikTok, and I haven't got it converted over yet. I will put it up for members whenever I get finished converting it over. But until then, I didn't ask him to put it on TikTok, but that's where it is. So if you want to find it, go search on TikTok for something. I'll find out what it's under. Amanda says, hi, UntetheredLive family. Good to see y'all. I hope everybody had an awesome week. Stay warm, y'all. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight? We missed you last night and hope you had a great gig. I had a great gig. It's about 100 people, all dressed to the nines. All the girls were in white frilly dresses, real slim white frilly with flowers, and all the guys were in black because it was a black tie event. I was not wearing a black tie, no, but I did have a collar on like I do here. And, we rocked out with our socks out. Something like that. A little cocaine, a little fun. You know how it goes. No, just kidding. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this here hot cup of coffee. Don't you want to have a cup of coffee with me and talk about the gig and my birthday and the week and the weirdness? If so, go get yourself a cup, pour it, get ready, sit down, kick back, take a nice sip. If you don't have a cup, though, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one. It has my face on it. It's fantastic. It also makes a good Christmas gift in case you want to gift it to someone else. Instead of having your own cup, you could give someone else a cup. And that could be a twofer. It works for me and it works for you. See how that works? And the person you give the cup to, because it is a fantastic, well-made, rugged cup that holds liberal tears very nicely. Okay. Also, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box if you'd like to show a little love, a little appreciation, a little guys, whatever it is. If you want to show it, I'll take it. Also, paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand or CashApp $JakeJohnsonBand, however you want to do it. I appreciate that very much. Amanda says, Fab Daddy, you were here first, so you get the gold star, and here's your gold star. And hi, Fab. I have a link for one song. Well, this is one song. Yeah. And my chat jumped. Fab Daddy says, this is a day I will never forget. What happened? What made today so special, Fab Daddy? Mr. P, are you out of the hospital? Tell us a little bit about your health. How are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you all right? We've been worried sick about you. And Mr. P says, God bless, gang. We miss y'all. We miss you, too. And Amanda says, hey, Mr. P, I can send him the TikTok link. We'll just put it here in the chat. It'll be fine. Kristen Molly? Is that how you say that? Kristen Molly? Welcome, Kristen. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Who are you? What do you like? What do you want to talk about? Welcome to the show. Amanda says, we miss you too, Mr. P. How are you doing? Everyone has asked about you and has been praying for you. True. John H. says, hello, everyone. Happy birthday, Jake. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. The big 5-0. I'm ready. I'm here. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Ba, ba, da, da, ba, da, da, da. Ba, ba, da, da, ba, da. I'm 50. Da, 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 da. Ba, da, 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 da. Here we go. The big 5-0. Never thought I'd see it. Thought I'd die before I was 40. Thought that my whole life. Here I am, old. Fab Daddy says, I don't like my coffee with a mustache. Sir, how dare you? I'll have you know my mustache is offended by your very nature. I understand. It gets a little moist. But you can have coffee later. It's cold, but you can have it. Amanda says, hi, Kristen. Welcome to the show. Oh, sorry, Krishan. Harry Krishan. Something. I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere, but I can't find it. You do it if you want to. Amanda says, hi, John H. And Fab Daddy says, Pearl Harbor. Well, is today Pearl Harbor Day? You're absolutely right. Actually, I think it's yesterday. It's the 6th, right? December 6th. Isn't that Pearl Harbor? Because today's the 7th. It may have been the 7th, but it seems like in my head I'm remembering December 6th. I had forgotten all about that. And by the way, here's the link, fellas, if you want to watch that video. That is my band playing, a little clip of it anyway. I'm not singing in that clip, but, you know, everything else is pretty great. Links don't work in vertical for me, says Fab Daddy. You got to click the 3 dots and then follow the thing that pops up after that. Amanda says, happy 50th birthday, Jake. I hope you get everything you want and more. Well, that's a tall order. I didn't get a Les Paul, but I did get a new truck, and I'm happy about that. And I did get a Rebel Flag comforter for my bed, and I'm happy about that. And I did get 3 new pairs of Wrangler jeans that fit. I'm happy about that. And I did get a nice Christmas/birthday card from Amy. I appreciate that. It's very nice. So I had a great birthday, even though it's on the 10th. But whatever. Amanda says, I'll send it to you in the messenger then, Fab Daddy. Oh, it is the 7th? Okay, you're right. I must have forgotten. Or either that or I've got it confused with something that happened on a 6th. That's entirely possible. Amanda says, sent Fab Daddy, and Fab Daddy says, thank you, Amanda. More guitar strings. Yeah, I got 3 new sets of 3 or 4, 5 new sets of guitar strings for my guitars that I have scattered about the house, which are outnumbering us by a lot. So, that's nice. All my guitars can have new strings now. I knew I was forgetting something. I just couldn't think about it. Fab Daddy says, jealous. Me too. I haven't had new strings in forever. The guitars that I play on stage have year-old strings on them. And I got some guitar hangers. I forget how many of them. I think there's 12 of them, but they're the nice wood kind. It's got the wood base and the hanger that screws right into the wall or into a baseboard and then into the wall. So all my guitars that aren't in cases are going up on the walls. And those are nice, says Fab Daddy. Yes, they are. 12 of them. Yep, I got 12 of them. So that's 12 guitars off the floor. That's nice. And I know people are thinking, 12 guitars? That's just in my bedroom. I've got 30 guitars. So, you know, I probably have more. Rachel Floyd says, hi, happy birthday, Jake. Hi, Rachel. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. How are you doing? Happy birthday to you, too. Fab Daddy says, man, you scored for your birthday. I did. I had a very lovely birthday, and I hadn't even had it yet. So it's very nice. But that gig, that was a nice birthday touch to have a nice big gig like that. The energy level is through the roof. It was a frat party, a private frat party, but it was a black tie event frat party, if that makes any sense. So it was exciting, but everybody was dressed to the nines, and I should have taken pictures, and I was just too busy, and never even occurred to me. I brought a tripod, and I set it up on stage, and I was ready to put my camera. I was going to live stream the whole thing, and the show started. We were running late. The show started, and I never thought about it again. Just sit there, played the whole show without making a single. That's the hard thing about being by yourself, is because you don't think about stuff. I run the show, so I got to think about everything. And that just isn't the thing I'm thinking about at the time. Amanda says, yep, the bedroom might as well be the guitar room. Or one of the guitar rooms anyway. Right on. It is. My whole house is a guitar room because I got guitars everywhere. I bet you if I just leaned over, I'd pick one up. Let's see. I don't even have to go anywhere. It's right there. 3 of them. Actually, there's like 8 of them over there. Anyway. And what's behind this screen is my Marshall amp and a few other things, a couple amps. Amanda says, hi, Rachel. Rachel says, hello. And Amanda says, the best part is Jake don't have to freeze or get wet going anywhere anymore. I know. I'm getting there. I got a new truck. It's a long time coming. I've been needing one for years now. But I got a 1999 Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer XLT. And it is beautiful. It's champagne. That's the color. It's that color that's between gold and silver. But it ain't quite either one. Champagne. And so it's got a sunroof, 4 doors, and the seats let down. So I've got the whole back to put band equipment in. And it's got good heat, and that's the important part, because I have been freezing my patooties off every winter for the last 5 years, and it's time to stop that, because I'm getting old, and them freezing winters just ain't easy to handle anymore. Fab Daddy says, I'm sure your Tommy gun is in one of those cases. Yeah, see? I have my Tommy gun right there. Mess with me, you'll wake up on ice. I have a terrible New York accent. I can't do it for some reason. I got too many marbles in my mouth. I just can't do it. I can do single words, but I can't talk with a New York accent or a Boston accent. It just won't come out. It's like my mouth is diametrically opposed, designed to not speak that way. Amanda says, we went on a nice ride on the town tonight. You need a comma if you're going to do that. We went on a nice comma on the town comma ride tonight. And it was lovely. Yes, it was. We got to look at some Christmas lights, listen to some music, joy riding, I guess you call it. Hadn't done that in a very long time. From your prohibition runs, old man? Probably. Yeah, you remember when they invented dirt? I remember that. Amanda says, okay, Mr. English professor. Well, I have to read it. You understand that, right? So if it's just a random run-on sentence, either I'm going to say that and it's going to sound like I'm stupid, or you're going to learn how to put a comma so that I can parse the sentence in a proper way so other people can hear it and understand what I'm saying. Because if it's just a run-on sentence, I have no idea where the inflection is or where the accent is or anything like that. So it's just, we went on a nice on-the-town ride tonight, and I don't previously know what that says, so I have to think about it as the words come out. You understand what I'm saying? See, when you write, let me give you an important tip for writers. Anybody that does any writing, this is something you may have overlooked. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm not saying you don't know how to write. Fine. But here's a little idea you may have overlooked. You must assume that whomever reads this does not know what you're thinking and has not read it prior to this reading, which means you can't assume anything in your writing. You have to write the thing you're thinking so that the person reading it will think it also, right? So that's very important. I learned that very early on in creative writing when I was in college, that your reader can't read your mind. He doesn't know what you're thinking. So you have to spell it out when writing. So keep that in mind. Amanda says, hey, everybody, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available. If you want to give Jake a birthday present, you can do that. I think there's a new thing on the live chat now, too. Try that out. I don't know anything about it, so you have to look. And also, paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand or CashApp, $JakeJohnsonBand. I appreciate you. Thank you for the shout-out, Amanda. Fab Daddy says a run-on sentence is comma after comma after comma, etc. No, that's not a run-on sentence. A run-on sentence doesn't have a period or a comma. It's just a string of words. What you're talking about is there's a word for it, but I can't think of it, but it's a polyphonic sentence. It's multiple pauses in a sentence. A comma just means pause. But a run-on sentence, you can't tell where it begins and ends or if there's any inflection in it. Go Moso is back getting messages deleted once again. Butthead, stop that. What are you, 12? Amanda says, oh, wow, John. I'm glad you're okay. John says, I read that backwards. I had a bad night. 90-mile-per-hour winds. Trees just missed my house. Good gracious. John, you're in Britain, right? You need to be careful. That's terrifying. A tree falling on you is terrifying. I think about that when I'm laying in bed at night. A tree could just smash right through your house and gut you, and you'd never even know it happened. All right, Go Mozo. If you're actually 20, then act 20. There's a lot of ladies in here, and we don't need that nonsense. I would very much like for you to be part of the conversation. You subscribed for a reason. Enjoy the conversation. Get to know people. Show us who you are and stop being an asshole. It's very simple. John says, yeah, Britain. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, please be careful. Cut them trees down that are close to your house, or at least cut the limbs down that could pierce you in your house. Amanda says, act like it. 20. Yes, 20 is a age where you should be thinking. And that's what this channel is ultimately about, is thinking. We think about stuff and then we talk about it. And people learn by way of listening to other people talk. It's very nice. It's called discourse, and we do it on this channel. So be part of the discourse and tell us a little bit about yourself. Try that. Try doing something unique for the first time in your life. Let somebody into your world. Try that. You might find some friends. You might find you're welcomed into a community of friends. Or you might just be insufferable asshat. I'm not a trained monkey. I don't say things like Sigma just because somebody hollers out Sigma. If you want me to say something, cash at me and I'll say it. John says, in Britain, trees are protected. 100 pine tree. 100%. 100 pine trees? See, that's an example of a run-on sentence. I have no idea what he's saying there. I got the first part, trees are protected, but 100 pine tree, I don't know what that means. Do you have 100 pine trees around your house and they're protected so you can't cut them down? Is that what you're trying to say? Fab Daddy says, I heard that Texas is wanting to go back to the gold standard. Sometimes I love Texas. Well, Fab Daddy, how can you be a Democrat and appreciate the gold standard? But you know, it's the Democrats that got us off of the gold standard, right? You understand that? Okay, just so you know. So, Texas very well should go back to the gold standard. Somebody should, because that would mean that it would be a place where you could see proof positive that having something to back up your currency makes your currency more valuable. Therefore, by way of just having gold behind their money, everything will get cheaper immediately. And people will value the money more because it has something actually to it. And less people will have more of it. That's a beautiful thing. Feet. Oh, 100 feet. 100-foot pine trees. Got it. Sorry for the spelling. It's all right. I just didn't understand what you're trying to say. So if the tree is 100 foot tall, it's protected. Is that what you're saying? So you can't cut down tall pine trees. Not even in your own property? This is my yard. I'll cut down any tree I want in it. Nobody will say a word to me about it. That's weird. But then again, I used to watch that show. What's it called? I can't remember. It's where they build houses. You know, people will come into some money and they'll decide to build a house, and then this dude comes from nowhere, sticking his nose into their business and then films the whole thing. It's not This Old House, but it's something like that. But it's British. Grand Design, I think it's called. Grand Design. Is it that real posh British dude that always says bespoke? It's a bespoke house. You mean they've built this one of a kind? Bespoke. Yeah, it's the only one out there. Bespoke. That's not a word. Yeah, it's a word. Bespoke. It's not a word. Anyway, they got some weird rules about building your house. Like, you buy a piece of property, if it's in a certain district, you have to get permission to do what you want to do to that house. It's your house. You bought it, like, say that there's a lot of people that buy like a barn and then decide to turn it into a house. But if the barn is from the 1800s, which most barns are because it's a barn, you can't change it without permission because it's in a district. It's in a special area. And so you got to go through years of jumping through hoops and hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be able to turn this thing into a house. In America, if I buy a piece of property, that's my property. And unless they want to build a highway through it, I can do whatever I want to do on that property as long as I have a permit. That's it. Permit costs like $20 or whatever. It might cost more. I don't know. I've never bought one, but it's easy to get. You just go down and get a permit. It's like if you're going to build onto the house, you got to have a permit. But if it's a freestanding building, you don't. If it's a barn, I can build all the barns I want. No problem. If I'm going to add to my house, I got to have a permit because it's tied into the electricity and all that stuff. So Amanda says 100-year-old, maybe? Maybe. 100 feet. Fab Daddy says, you don't know about brick? Brick? Probably not. What is brick? I might know about it, but I don't know that anagram. Gomoso says, I hate this, so bye. Well, see you later. Take it easy. Thanks for being here. Go annoy someone else. While you're out there going, maybe you ought to remember that you have to live in this world. Maybe it would behoove you to have some manners and learn how to be around people. Youngin'. All right, goodbye. Amanda says, see ya, Gmo. Fab Daddy says, bye, Gmo. Treehouse Masters. Nope, it's not Treehouse Masters, but it's like that. It's called Grand Design. I had to think about it for a minute. And dude's been doing it for years, and he just goes and watches people build their house and asks them all kinds of questions. It's actually kind of intrusive. If you want to know the truth about it, I'd tell him to get the hell off my property, but apparently it's a thing in Britain. They like it. It's called listed in Britain, or planning permission. Yep, planning permission. That's right. Yeah, there's some strange rules, man. And if you're in we have like downtown districts, like I guess you'd call it a historic district, where all the houses are from like George Washington's time and all that. In those places, you can't change anything, but they're usually downtown where the courthouse is in that area. You don't see too much of that outside of that area, But in that area, yeah, it's like a historic downtown area. You don't want to change that. If it's got cobblestones or whatever, you want to keep all of that way. But Fab Daddy says BRIC is 11 plus countries trying to start a new currency led by Russia and China and India and Indonesia. Wow, I didn't know about that. I guess I hadn't been watching the news lately. Been kind of busy. It's Me says, hey, y'all, I missed the drama. Uh-oh. No drama. Fab Daddy says, trying to steal the influence of the almighty dollar. Well, I don't think they're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they're wrong for wanting their money to mean something. After all, our almighty dollar used to have almighty power to it because it was backed by gold. And then it was backed by oil. And now I presume it's just an IOU backed by nothing because that oil contract ran out a couple months ago. And to this day, I have not heard what they have done about it. So I don't know if they've done anything about it. It's Me says, howdy, Amanda. You doing okay? Amanda says, hi, it's me. Gomo, are you still here? You want to watch me play a video game? So you can watch me enjoy playing a video game? So you can sit there and watch me vicariously? Is that what you want to do? Is that your kind of thing? I think it is. Amanda says, yes, I'm awesome. It's just cold as hell. I told you were moving up north. You didn't believe me. Just because North Carolina claims to be part of the South just because the Mason-Dixon line is technically between North Carolina and Virginia does not make it the South. It is the North, hence the name North Carolina. Fab Daddy says Trump wants to 100% tariff all BRIC countries. Well, he probably should. You know why? Because if they do that, if they go through with that and back their currency with some form of, intrinsic valuable thing, their money's going to be worth more than everybody else's. So, yeah, our country should absolutely tariff them so that we get some of that value out of their money that they're going to have backed by gold or whatever, right? That sounds like good business sense to me. I don't have a problem with that. Keep in mind, I don't care what happens in other people's country. That's not my country. I don't care. It's none of my business. You do you, boo. I got a world to live in over here that's got plenty of problems. It's fraught with problems. I don't need your problems too, and I wish our government would feel like that more. Fab Daddy says, invest in an electric blanket and be happy. Electric blankets make me get the flu. I get sick. My muscles hurt because of the heat. My muscles don't like to be hot like that, and it causes my lungs to fill with fluid. So no, I don't want to be under an electric blanket. However, a nice space heater would be nice, and I think that's next on the list. I think we're going to go buy one this weekend. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what kind of money we're working with. If I get a lot of super chats tonight, I might go buy us a space heater. Amanda says it was 19 degrees here last night. Brr! It got down to 18 this morning. Oh, yeah, it was cold. But it'll get even lower than that. We'll get down into 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, somewhere in that area. Might hit 0, but it's rare. That doesn't happen often. Well, there is a Hell, Michigan. Huh? There is a Hell, Michigan? Is it hell in Michigan? Is that what you're saying? It's me? Or magician. There's a Hell magician? Miggy Higgin? What is a Miggy Higgin? I think I'm reading that wrong. Try again. By the way, if you guys hadn't checked out our new Facebook page, it's facebook.com/UntetheredLive family, all one word, UntetheredLive family. Go check it out. It's a great place to keep up with everybody outside of the show and get to know one another and share things with one another and keep up with all things Untethered Live universe right there at facebook.com/UntetheredLive. Go check it out. You won't regret it. Appreciate it. Patty Donahue says, hey, Jake, happy birthday. Hello, kids. Sorry, I'm late. You're not late. We all came early just to mess with you, Patty. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you very much. Mandy says, hi, Patty. Rachel says, why are you like this, Fab? Michigan. It's a real town, says it's me. Got it. There's a town called Hell in Michigan. Now, see there? Look at It's Me's sentence structure here. Well, there is a Hell, Michigan. All right? So nobody knows what that means. However, you did put a comma before well, and that's proper. Well is a pause, so you always put a comma before well. Then you start your sentence. There is a Hell. Hell should be capitalized so that we know that it's a name, and then by that I could infer you're talking about Hell, Michigan, because Michigan should also be capitalized because it's a name. So it should read, well, comma, there is a capital Hell, capital Michigan, period. And then I would know what you meant. That's a perfect example of a run-on sentence. But he clarified it, so now I do know what he meant. As long as you clarify it, that's all that matters. Patty says, hi, Amanda. And It's Me says, Michigan. Hell, Michigan. It's a real town. Yes. There's also a Destiny, Texas, and a couple of other names in Texas that are weird like that, like Hell, Michigan. Isn't Hell, Michigan where the ground is on fire I don't know, there's a place up north somewhere where there's like a gas leak and it's been going on since the 50s, and there's like smoldering and nobody can live over it. There used to be a town there, but they abandoned it. Isn't that hell, Michigan? It seems like it is. I might be wrong. Fab Daddy says, I don't know, Rachel. Probably to irritate you. Rachel says, yep. It's me says, okay, picking on. No, sir. I was not picking on you. I was using you as an example because it was a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. I was not picking on you by any stretch of the imagination. I figured out what you were talking about is quite fine. But we were talking about run-on sentences earlier and what they look like. I'm sorry if that sounded like I was picking on you. I wasn't. I was using you as a teaching tool. You helped the kids out today. You deserve an apple. Amanda says, it rarely gets in the 20s in Florida, so this is very cold. And it's a totally different type of cold here, too. My body will thicken up soon, I hope. I hope it goes the other way. I'm sorry. That was mean. Rachel says, OMG, Amanda, you are in North Carolina, not Maine. Yeah, it gets really cold in Maine. I told her last night, I said, look, you've experienced cold before, I'm sure. But you've never experienced shit. Right? That's what you're going to experience today. And it got that cold. Fab Daddy says, I think we all mistyped to drive Professor English Jake Mad Hatter. Probably. Yeah, it drives me crazy. This is what college does to the modern brain, by the way. It makes you insufferable. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I can't beat out of the hide what's in the blood. I've tried. I am just a jackass with an education, and that doesn't mean anything. Amanda says, yes, Rachel, but the Florida weather is way different, and I've never lived outside of Florida. Well, you do now, and get fleece. That's all I can say. It's me says, yep, I are gooder in English. Ha, 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 ha. Amanda says, LOL, it's me, and LOL, Fab Daddy. And Rachel says, yeah, I get it. Get a jacket and coffee. You'll be okay. And or fleece. That stuff. Which is the word I was trying to think of for that jacket that has the inside lining that I couldn't think of the word. And I kept saying terry cloth, but that's not it. It's fleece. That's the thing I'm looking for. In case you're wondering. Amanda says, LOL, I got lots of warm clothes and plenty of coffee. And thermal underwear, says Fab Daddy. Get thermal underwear. Long Johns. They make them for this very occasion. Strongly recommend Long Johns if you don't have them. They're like tighty whities, but they go down to your ankles. And they keep you warm. They're made out of some kind of special material that NASA invented or something. And they're awesome. Get goose feather pants. Ooh. I don't even like down pillows. I couldn't imagine wearing it in my legs. Down pillows poke you. They got little feathers that stick through the cushion. They're soft, I give you that. But they have the little spines that poke you, and I don't like that at all. Amanda says, yep, Long Johns are so comfortable. Yes, and you can wear them by themselves. It's weird looking, but you can do it. It's me says, you're going to lose our bet. The Lions are 12-1. The Lions are 12-1 on their way to the Super Bowl. Go Lions. I didn't know we made a bet, but I'll honor it. What did I bet? I'll honor it if it's under $100. What did I bet? Fab Daddy says nylons will keep your legs warm, plus give you a nice tan look. Right on? Nylons. Won't be me, but you do your thing. $5. I can honor that. I'll honor $5. Yep, I'm leaving it alone. Hey, did I tell you I got a new truck? Nice. It's lovely. It is so nice to go somewhere and not be frozen when I get there and have to thaw out for 30 minutes before I can move my fingers again. Yeah, that's nice. And the burning fire in your fingers, you ever had that? Have you ever been that cold? Not brand new, no. It's a 99. It's new to me, but it's in good shape. It's well taken care of, well manicured, runs good. And I stole it. I'll tell you what it is. It is a 1999 Eddie Bauer edition Ford Explorer XLT in good shape with brand new tires all the way around and a spare tire. And it runs good, has cold air and hot heat. What do you think I paid for it? You could just go look Blue Book value and you'll see it's up there. It's like, that's a $2,500, $3,000 truck all day long. All day long. You could buy it for $5,000 at a car lot today. $1,100. That's what I paid for it. Cash for title. Done. Couldn't believe it. And it's fully loaded. Even has a sunroof. And it was one owner, basically. The guy that bought it from the one owner sold it to me immediately after he bought it, like within a month. So it's basically a one owner. So I stole that truck outright. And I'm happy about that because I did not have $3,000. But I needed a vehicle that could cover me up and let me get through the winter. Plus, with all the band gigs that are starting to happen now, which I'm getting back out there again, and it's picking up. It's kind of hard to tote all my equipment on a motorcycle. I've managed to do it a couple of times, but it is difficult. And I had to leave a bunch of things home that I like to have with me when I play, like my stool. It's a redneck truck. Hold on, I missed something, didn't I? Nope, I didn't. If it's a redneck truck, the bed converts into a pool in the summertime. Well, if I fill it full of water, it would. But I don't want to do that. But it does lay down, so I have the entire back of the truck to put stuff in, and I like that. And it's the big Ford Explorer, not the little one. They make two different sizes, a little one and a big one. I got the big one. So it's a little bit up off the ground. Not real. It's like a mid-size SUV. How much to register? To register what? What are we talking about? It's me. Oh, $100 tax, tag, and title. Yep. So I guess you're asking how much to register the vehicle. It's $100. Most places. It might be $150 now, but it's about around $100. Prices have went up, so I'm not sure if it's still $100. It's been a while since I've done it, but most of the time it's $100 tax, tag, and title. And then it's in your name. Cheaper than California, says Fab Daddy? Probably. But first, I got to get the license squared away, which is going to cost about $500. So when I get that squared away, then I'll get the tax, tag, and title on the truck, and everything will be copacetic. Right now, I'm just driving it illegally. Isme says my Honda Civic was $95. Okay, cool. Well, so right around $100. It's $275 to register in Florida. Really? When did it go up so high? It's always been $100. You go to a car lot and buy a car. When they give you the temporary tag, you give them a $100 bill for tax, tag, and title. That's part of the deal. That's what I've always done. It's crazy in Florida. I got you. Fab Daddy says, since the Yankees moved there, right? Probably so. Probably all them Democrats swimming over Did I say that? I'm sorry. They take boats. Amanda says, right, Fab Daddy? Where is everybody tonight? There's only 11 people here and only 6 likes. Hit that like button, everybody. You know, the fact that we have as many likes as there are people here, it helps the channel, makes the algorithm, pushes out to other people. So please hit that like button. Damascus became under siege today, says it's me. Really? By whom? Who besieged them? Fat Daddy says, oh yeah, I was busy chatting and forgot the double hit. Yes, double tap. Tap, tap. Don't do that on a computer, though, because it'll give me the like and then take it away. Da-da-da-ba-da-da. It's me, Civil War has manifest there. I don't doubt that. The rebels in Syria. Okay. So Syria has attacked Damascus. That's not good what's going on over there. Y'all need to watch that closely. We talk about that sort of thing on Sunday and Monday night, what's actually occurring over there right now. And it's not good. You need to be paying attention to that war because it's going to heat up in ways you don't expect right now. Write it down that I said so. And it may affect everybody else too. I don't know. At some point, it might affect us here in the United States. It already has in kind of a way on college campuses with the people protesting the river to the sea or whatever it is they say, and they don't even know what they're talking about. Gays for Palestine and that sort of thing. So in that way, it's affected us, but the actual fighting part might affect us at some point in the future, too. Be careful of that. I am not a Zionist, says Fab Daddy. Well, I would hope not if you didn't come from Zion. I think you can only be a Zionist if you come from Zion. I might be wrong about that, but that's what the word implies. I don't even know what that word means, to be honest with you. I've heard lots of people throwing it around, but I don't think they mean it the way the Bible means it when they say Zion. I think it's a different thing. So somebody explain that if you know. By that, do you mean anti-Jew? Is that what Zionist means? Because I'm not one of those either. Although there are some Jewish people that are quite grubby, if you know what I mean. But it's not all of them. And it certainly has nothing to do with their Jews. That's not why. And also, most people use the word Jew incorrectly, including me, and I make point of it every time I do it. I'm using that word to encompass the lot of them, but there's actually 12 tribes, and only one of them is Jewish. None of them are Zionists, by the way. From what I understand, it relates to the Lord having a chosen. Well, the Lord does have a chosen. It's in the Bible. He says he chose those people, the 12 tribes of Israel, for a specific reason. He even explains why he chose them, and that is true. Why would anybody, is a Zionist someone that believes that or someone that doesn't believe that? Because it's been written for 4,000 years. Believe me, they are chosen. Chosen for what is a different story. I think that's where the problem is people don't understand what chosen means. I think they think it means that God favors them among other people. He does not. He is no respecter of persons. It says that in the Bible too. God loves everybody or hates everybody equally. Someone that believes it is a Zionist. Okay. Well, I guess I am a Zionist then because I do believe God chose the Jews and the rest of the tribes because he said he did in more than one place in the Bible. That has nothing to do with me, though. I'm not Jewish, so I'm not one of the chosen ones. The question, though, is, and I don't know why more people don't discuss this, chosen for what exactly? Because you might be surprised to find out that God chose them to be peculiar, to be set apart from everyone else, to be strange, to have rules and regulations that nobody else has to follow, to have all these feast days and this and that and the other. Basically, they are chosen to worship God, probably because they are the most likely group of people on planet Earth that will not worship God. That's probably why they were chosen. It's like a dichotomy thing. This is my opinion. I have no basis to back this up, but I would say that's probably why he chose them. But they are chosen, in fact. You can believe that, and if you believe that, you're a Zionist? I don't think so, but maybe. Amanda says, Zionism is a nationalist political ideology that called for the creation of a Jewish state and now supports the continued existence of Israel as such a state. I have no problem with that. Israel should own Israel or Jerusalem or wherever the West Bank is. Canaan, if you look at an old map and see where the borders of Canaan is, they should own that because that was given to them by God. That's not to say other people shouldn't live there because there were other people living there when God gave that land to them. He did tell them to wipe them out, but they didn't. So they remained there, which is why we have the problem today that we have. If they'd have done what God told them to do back then, this wouldn't be an issue. So, does that make me a Zionist? I don't subscribe to any political ideology concerning Israel. I don't care what they do. It's none of my business. I just know what the Bible says about that land. I'm not a part of that, so it doesn't matter to me what they do. Amanda says, the actual theology of Christian Zionism, also known as biblical Zionism, supports the right of the Jewish people to return to their homeland on scriptural grounds, the biblical foundation for Zionism. Well, I guess I'm a Zionist then because I believe they should be allowed to go home. That is their house. They own it. They've had that title for 4,500 years and no one else has claimed that title. So, it is their property. Let them have it. Amanda says, Christian Zionism is found in God's covenant with Abraham 4,500 years ago. Correct. Fab Daddy says, I brought it up because it's a political hot topic revolving religion. Well, this is Politi-tics, and that's the reason for us to have these conversations, because it is political in nature. So, thank you for bringing that up. It's a good topic. I think we should discuss it. However, all of this is a discussion. Nobody here is trying to get anybody here to believe any particular ideology or anything like that. We're just discussing what exists, YouTube. So don't be getting hard on us for having a conversation that you don't like. It's Me says, pray for Israel and all innocent. I pray for everybody that I know. That's it. Why? Because I can't fix the world. I'm only one man. And I'm not going to lose sleep at night because a part of the world is broken that I can't fix. I didn't break it. I wasn't part of breaking it or a victim of it being broken. So that's out of my purview. I ask the Lord to all things in his will. So if my prayers have any bearing on what happens, which I don't think they do, that's what I pray for. I don't pray for specific places or specific people that I don't know because I don't know them. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what their problems are. I don't know what's in their heart. It's not my problem. Nikki, welcome to the show. What is this stream about? Whatever you want it to be about, Nikki. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? What do you like? What do you want to talk about? We'll talk about anything. I'll eat anything that you want me to eat, and I'll swallow anything that you want me to swallow. So come on down, I'll chew on a dog. Yeehaw. Amanda says, hi, Nikki, welcome. Fab Daddy says, it's about you, Nikki. That's right, it's about you. And whatever you want to discuss. Right now, we're discussing Zionism and what it means. You can change the subject if you like. Nikki says, I like this, thanks. You're welcome. I like you too. Come on in. Where are you from, Nikki? Yes. You're from Denmark. Nice. I got some folks over that way that come to the show. How's the weather in Denmark right now? It's really cold here right now. And are you a Zionist? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm just kidding. We don't care. We're just discussing its political nature. And apparently, if you believe what the Bible says, that makes you a Zionist. I didn't know. I had no idea. I've heard people use that word, but I'm guessing it doesn't mean the same thing to them that it means in the Bible when the Bible says it. Has Nikki ever seen a strand beast? I don't even know what a strand beast is. That sounds like something out of a video game or a Star Wars movie, but I like it. Have you ever seen a strand beast? And what is a strand beast? Isn't there a video game called Strand that has beasts in it? Nikki says, do not know what it is. Ha ha ha. I don't either. It's Me says Venezuelan gangs have declared territories around Troy, Michigan. Really? Venezuelan gangs in Michigan claiming territories. Well, Michigan go right along with Colorado. They did that in Colorado last month. Looks like we're going to have that happen around here nowadays. Strand beast is a Dutch invention. Okay. Still don't know what it is, but I know where it's from now. Thank you. Walks on beaches. Oh, yes. I've seen a strand beast. You're talking about the thing that you sit in and it is wind powered. Yes, I've seen one. And yes, the video game is loosely based on that idea because that idea is loosely based on a novel that was written by a really creepy dude back a long time ago. There you go. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. You have seen it. I have seen it, yes. Amanda says strand beasts, meaning beach beast in Dutch. It's a wind-powered kinetic sculpture created by Dutch artist Theo Jansen since 1990. Yes, I have seen those, and they are freaky looking. And it's kind of reminiscent of something you'd see in a post-apocalyptic dystopian universe. Anyway, they're cool. Check them out. Strand Beast. Go check it out. It has a bunch of feet, and it just kind of walks across the beach with you in it. It's kind of neat, and it's wind-powered. And some of them you don't ride. Some of them just go by themselves. But the one I saw, a person rode in it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Entity number 1 says, I need a fully functional rifle with adjustable aim, fully automatic, misspelled automatic, silent barrel, misspelled barrel, long range. Why? Pray tell, would you need something like that, Entity? And welcome to the show. It's Me says, Dearborn, Michigan has the most populated area of Muslims in the United States of America. I did know that. There is a lot of them there. That Ilhan Omar is the, governor, senator, something for that part of the world. And she is not a good person. Amanda says, hi, Entity, welcome. What have you in need of such a weapon for? And how old are you? And do you even know what that kind of weapon can do? Do you know what the business end of that weapon is made for? Do you know which end of it is the business end? Amanda says, I have an aunt that lives in Dearborn, Michigan. She's a congresswoman. That's what she is. I knew she was something. She's not a good person. I've heard her talk before, and that's an evil, evil person. I don't know what revolution. Well, a one-man revolution looks like a crazy person to the rest of the world, just so you know. Don't be using weapons to start revolutions. Let me give you a better weapon. Use words. Words are more powerful than weapons. Ink is mightier than the sword. Get out there and talk. Put your ideas out there. And your ideas will be either met with appreciation or friction. And if your ideas are good, they will defeat that friction and be better ideas for everybody. If your ideas are shitty, They will be destroyed by discourse, and everyone will know what a fool you are. So, I would recommend strongly that before you resort to shooting, you resort to talking, because more speech is the answer to complex problems, not censored speech. So get out there and talk. Share your ideas. You can share them here if you like. I'll give you the platform to say them. But be warned, if your ideas are stupid, I will destroy you and clean my teeth with your bones, because I'm way smarter than you will ever be. So, you have a choice. You can be a real man and discuss your issues, or you can be a coward and shoot at people. Which would you rather? Which sounds more revolutionary to you? Nikki says, I'm crying laughing over here. Thank you, Nikki. Rachel says, I want a grenade launcher. Right on. Yeah, let's not do all that. Fab Daddy says, a M203. I'll stick with my 30-06 and I'll pick the eyebrows off of a weasel with it. And there is not a gun on planet Earth that could outshoot me with a 30-06. Promise you that. That is the best gun ever made. Hands down, it just is. And for a long time, the military used the 30-06 as a sniper rifle because of its accuracy and quality. They just couldn't help themselves trying cheaper versions of other things, like the SK. Not a very powerful gun in comparison to a 30-06. I mean, it is powerful. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel, you would. And I want a 50 cal. You couldn't even pick up a 50 cal. Why would you want one? Entity says, multi-men, crossbones. Don't know what that means. Do you mean Minutemen? That would be different than multi-men, because all armies are multiple men. Rachel says, always wanted it. 10-10 satisfaction. A flamethrower. John says, in Britain, the most common name is Mohammed now. That should be terrifying to all Britons and should make them go dig out that little ballot that they have that says Brexit on it and really opine they didn't sign it. I think I used the word opine incorrectly, but you got my idea. It's Me says, I seen a video of a street gospel preacher arrested in Dearborn, Michigan for disturbing the peace at a festival that no doubt he had a permit to be at. This is called interference, and our government is fraught with it at the moment. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel. Fab Daddy says, I think Jesus is the most common name in California. You mean Jesus? Yes. Jesus is the most common name in California, probably. Or Jose. Jose Cuervo, you are a friend of mine. I like to drink you with a little salt and lime. Did I kiss all the cowgirls? Did I shoot out the lights? Did I dance on the bar? Did I start any fights? I love that song. It's a good song. Amanda says, I have, and I've fired one once. You have not fired a 50 caliber machine gun. You cannot pick one up. I promise. I cannot pick one up, and I'm stronger than you. If you fired one, it was mounted on the back of a Jeep or something. Rachel, and by the way, the bullet is so long that I can't show you on this screen how big it is. It's about like that. Maybe I can if I do it this way. A bullet is that big around and that long. And when it shoots, it turns whatever it hits into mist, even if it's concrete. And it's very scary. You don't want to be shot anywhere near a 50 caliber. And I apologize, that was a reaction. If you fired one, I believe you. But you didn't pick it up. I know that. Rachel says, there is an axe throwing place near me above a bar. Cool. Lamau. Anyways, you are allowed to bring pictures of people. And I said, oh, I can't bring the real person? What's the point of axe throwing then? Right on. I'm with you. Entity says my beliefs remain correct. If you say so, buddy, well, right there, without even knowing what your beliefs are, I question you because I've been studying my beliefs for the better half of a century. Half a century. Better half of a half a century. I said that wrong. At least 35 years. For real, like serious, deep study. And I'm not certain of my beliefs. So how can you be so certain of yours unless there's a little arrogance pushing that statement? I seriously doubt that your beliefs are correct. Or Juan, right? Juan or Jose. Yep. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel, anger issues much? And Rachel counters with very, Amanda. And Amanda counters with Xanax. Take a Xanax. Take a chill pill. Fab Daddy says, why are you like this, Rachel? Amanda says, 50 is not a machine gun. A 50 caliber most certainly is a machine gun. It is a single shot machine gun. And they do make a 50 caliber that has a band that goes in it of bullets. Watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You'll understand what I'm talking about. That movie would be Commando. Fab Daddy says, I have fired one or two, a 50 cal. Am I lying or over exaggerating its power or weight? John H says, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Amen. I'm with you. Guns do not kill people. Guns kill people the way that pencils are responsible for misspellings and the way that spoons are responsible for fat people. Amanda says, right, John? And Rachel says, why am I angry? Just like, why are you irritating Daddy? I'm not irritating Daddy. He and I go back and forth all the time. I don't think I'm irritating him. He hadn't said he was irritated. But why are you angry? I promise it's not the same reason I'm irritating Fab Daddy. Or did I read that wrong? Why are you irritating Fab Daddy? So, Fab Daddy, why are you irritating? Is the answer to why I'm angry. I think that's what you meant. I might be wrong. Read that how you will. It's Me says, I have a 20 gauge to protect my home. I never concerned myself to carry. And it is an open carry in North Carolina. Yes, it is. And I have a couple of that I can't carry right now because of other reasons. But they are close by. Amanda says, rifle. It is a rifle also. A machine gun is a rifle also. It's Me says, Tommy gun would be deadly if you could hit what you're shooting at, because here's a little known fact. Tommy guns are very unreliable in accuracy because when you pull the trigger, they raise up like that. They're so powerful that you can't hold it still. M16 had the same problem, which is why the Army now uses AR-15s instead of... They use an Army version of the AR-15, which is much more powerful than the one you can buy yourself on the streets, but it is basically that platform, AR-15. But that's the reason they no longer use M16s, because you're not hitting anything with it. You're just flailing bullets out into the wild open air. There's no way you could be accurate with one of those things. And a 20 gauge is perfectly good self-defense for a home. It'll blow a hole in you about that big. And if you're using rat shot, it'll make you think twice about coming in the door. Entity says, that's why I killed my chief in the line of duty for 12 reasons. Rip, Commander, rip. You're playing too much Call of Duty, my friend. Go to bed, take some NyQuil, call me in the morning. Fab Daddy says, you don't pick up a 50 caliber and carry it. And yes, to an M60, but firing 7.62 belts. But that still weighs over 30 pounds. Right. Well, the one that Arnold Schwarzenegger used in that movie was a 50 caliber Gatling gun, and it was modified so that he could pick it up and carry it. That particular gun goes on a mount in the back of a Jeep, and they changed it so that he could pick it up and carry it, and they put like a chainsaw handle on it. You know, the handle that you carry a chainsaw with so that he could pick it up. And, of course, it wasn't actually firing the bullets that he had wrapped around his arm. But in real life, that gun, which isn't gutted and modified so that an actor can pick it up, is too heavy to pick up. And if you could pick it up, you wouldn't want to stand there all day shooting it. Believe that. John H. says, if I get angry, I go for a walk. It works for me. Amen. O Negative says things that shouldn't be said in a conversation. So, if I was you, I would watch your mouth, O Negative, and welcome to the show. And I recommend Muppets Take New York. 0 negative. Might get you over your frog thing. Amanda says, "Oh, negative, take that crap elsewhere. We're having a decent conversation here." And Rachel says, "Defense." Fab Daddy says, "That was a Vulcan." It's Me says, "It's a sawed-off barrel single. A single 20-gauge sawed-off. Oh, yeah, that'll poke a hole in you." Mounted on helicopter, says Fab Daddy. Yes, they can be mounted on a helicopter, too. Or a Jeep. Entity says, "Fight with honor, and you will win," said Jackie Chan. Well, Jackie Chan never fought Mike Tyson. So, for all the good that does. Bruce Lee would tell you, be like water. Conform to your environment. Flow like the wind. And if you have to fight Mike Tyson, run, because he will kill you. Fight with honor. There's many of people dead on a battlefield right now who fought with plenty of honor. That is nonsense that 18-year-olds think. Are you 18 years old? Yeah. A 50 caliber weighs 86 pounds fully loaded. All right. Outside is a bag of cat food that has half gone, so it probably weighs 25 pounds now. I would like for you to take a stick about as long as your arm and wrap that cat food around it and tape both sides so that you can pick it up with the stick. And then I want you to reach into the middle of that stick and pick up that bag of cat food and walk outside with it and walk around the yard. And if you make it all the way around the yard without setting it down, I will apologize profusely and buy you a steak dinner. That's 25 pounds. Now imagine carrying 86 pounds in your hands and trying to shoot a target with it who is shooting back at you. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. Fab Daddy says, unless your name is Jake Paul. Well, I mean, did you see that fight? That wasn't a fight. That was two buddies making millions of dollars and laughing all the way to the bank. They were not fighting each other. They never even threw a serious punch, not either one of them. They were like shadow boxing. It was ridiculous. I've seen Mike Tyson train a week before that, and it scared me. That guy didn't show up in the ring. John says, Bruce Lee said, think, feel. Yes. Unicorn Ninja. Jackie Chan was an amazing stuntman, but not really known as a great fighter. Exactly. He was an amazing stuntman. He did great things with his martial arts, and he's a quite proficient martial artist. The key word in that is artist, not a real fighter. In a real fight, Jackie Chan would get his ass beat, probably pretty quickly. Because in a real fight, there are no rules. And if you ever studied martial arts, the first thing you learn about martial arts is there's lots of rules. So if I'm a kung fu master, the only time that's going to be effective at all is if I'm fighting another kung fu master who adheres to the same traditions and rules that I adhere to for the purposes of viewing audiences. It's not a real fighting style. And real kung fu artists, masters of kung fu, get their asses handed to them in the ring in an MMA fight because those are real fighters. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a real fighting style, and it will hurt you. Kung fu, you can't do that. So you're absolutely right, Unicorn Ninja. And hello, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you want to talk about? And who are you? Amanda says, hi, Ninja. Ninja says, hello. Fab Daddy says, film it. I want to see it. Yes, I do too. I would very much like to see that happen. Amanda says, I didn't say I carried it around, but I did pick it up to see how heavy it was and shot it prone position. You shot a 50 caliber prone position. That's the problem with the story right there. I'm not calling you a liar, but liar, liar, pants on fire. It was on a tripod on the ground. Yeah, I believe you picked one up. Entity says, the income of death might have an outcome of great victory, or it might have an outcome of somebody dying. Do you hear yourself talking? Those are people in your imaginary death camp. Fab Daddy says, I like Indiana Jones pulling out the gun on the knife-wielding chap. Yes. It's very nice. It's Me says, sumo wrestlers, also an art form, not a real fighting style. But I would postulate that it'd be kind of difficult to hit those guys because they got 3 feet of fat between them and the punch. Be kind of hard to knock one of those guys out, I would imagine. John says, I've had dinner with Frank Bruno. That's a real fighter. I don't know who Frank Bruno is, but I trust you that he's a real fighter. And I also trust that he doesn't do kung fu in a fight. Entity says, I know what a real fight is. Do you? A real fight is 90% unnecessary and 10% for sport. So, if you're in a sport fight like MMA or wrestling or whatever it is, fine, go at it. If you're in a real fight, I would strongly suggest you try to talk your way out of that real fight because a real fight, nobody wins. That's what a real fight is. Amanda says prone is laying on your belly. Is it now? You might be right about that because I don't know anything about military stuff. But I think laying on your belly is opposite of picking something up and shooting it, which was conspicuously left out of the original story, which is why I didn't buy it. It's Me says, Butterbean was a badass. Yes, he was. And I've seen Butterbean fight. He was fat, but he was a badass. I've seen Butterbean fight Mike Tyson. How about that? Fab Daddy says, prone means forward-leaning position, not laying down, which is why I did that. Amanda says, LOL, it wasn't. I just said I fired it once. Batshit crazy. Welcome back. What's up? What's that? That's an old reference. Sorry. I'm old. What can I say? Welcome, Batshit. Nice to see you. Amanda says, hi, Bat. I was batshit crazy once. Okay, I stand corrected. Prone is laying down. I think prone means leaning forward, but you might be right. I don't know. I said that earlier. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys. I'm a marksman, but I'm a marksman because of my own practice, not because I went through any kind of training. It's because I grew up shooting guns and got really good at it. Amanda says, prone position means lying flat on your stomach, face down. Isn't that prostrate? I think that's prostrate. Fab Daddy says, forward-leaning position is a push-up in the Army. Got it. So, like a gator crawl, that would be prone. Understood. Batshit Crazy says, supine. Nice choice. I said opine, but supine would have been better. Yes. It's me says, I like the forward cowgirl position. Me too. And all the other ones. Also. All of them. Batshit Crazy says, front leaning rest. Awesome. Got it. Yeah. Proof of that Jake doesn't know everything about everything. But whatever. Fab Daddy says, LOL. Amanda says, LOL, it's me. Yeehaw. Giddy up. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the information, by the way. That's great that we can have these kind of conversations and get to the root of things, the meat of things, and that other people listening can learn stuff. That's fantastic. I love it. I love every minute of it, so keep it up. What else y'all want to talk about? What I do know, though, is a 50 caliber gun is heavy and not something you pick up and tote around. I think you have to be on something to shoot one of those. Amanda says, you know how to save a horse. No, but I know how to ride a cowgirl. Ride a cowboy. Batshit says, WRM.22. Underrated. I don't know. Is that a 22 caliber? Is it you're talking about? Because I would agree with you. I have a 22 myself, and it'll hit anything I want it to hit and kill anything I want it to kill. No problem. 22 is a good gun. However, it's better to deer hunt with a 30-06. 22 Magnum, gotcha. I think mine's a Remington. Whatever it is. It's a good gun. And it's accurate, too. I shot the eyes out of 10 squirrels one time. Right in the eye socket. Dead shot every time. That's hard to do with a scope. I can wear a cowboy hat, says Amanda. Says, it's me. I can wear a cowboy hat. So you're saying you want to be ridden like a horse in need of saving? I'm with you. John H. says, the only thing I ride between my legs is a Harley. Well, I can't say that anymore because I just got a new truck for my birthday, and I'm happy about it. But up until yesterday, everywhere I rode was on a Harley. Correct. Amanda says, you know why most girls are bow-legged? Cowboy hats. Unicorn Ninja says, oh, wow, my last comment must have been auto-censored by YouTube because of violence. Well, I didn't see it, Unicorn Ninja. I'll scroll back up. I must have missed it if it was here. No, I don't see it. Other than Jackie Chan was a really great fighter. That's the last thing you said. Amanda says, cause their men like to eat with their hats on. I can agree to that. Fab Daddy says, I love to go swimming with bow-legged women and swim between their legs. That's creepy. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Put a fin on you, buddy. Amanda says, yep, it didn't post, Ninja. Space the words out like this. S-P-A-C-E. It's me says, ha, Amanda, calm down. Calm your little ass down. All's good in love and war. Amanda says, LOL, it's me. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Or some such nonsense. So anyway, I've been riding around in my new truck. It's new to me. It's not new. It's redneck new. But it's nice. It's a nice truck. Sits well. Rides good. Batshit Crazy says, more fun to ride, fly, drive a slow machine fast than to observe a side of that coin. It's more fun to ride a slow machine fast. I can see that. Amanda says, I'm cold. Got to warm up somehow, LOL. There's a big blanket in there with a rebel flag on it. Grab it and pull it over your body. Make you warm. I got it for my birthday. When are you putting up your lights, Jake? They're already up. I just got to go flip a switch and they'll come on. They stay up. Entity says Hitler had a guy named Aaron, and he said Adolf in 1939. And here we are in the next 20 American troops. He said not. He killed all Americans in the building with the men outside the building. That will teach you. It won't teach me because I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Yes, there was a guy named Adolf Hitler in 1939. And yes, a lot of Americans died in 1939, but a lot of other people did too. What are we referring to? Unicorn Ninja says, yep, I saw it was gone. I was just saying that I was a bouncer in a downtown bar for 5 years, and I got into plenty of skirmishes, and nobody ever used kung fu. And then talked about what usually worked well. Yep, it's never been kung fu or any other. I mean, you don't ever see like a taekwondo guy out like winning a street brawl. It's not going to happen. That's only in the movies. In real life, that'll get you hurt. Which is why I don't understand why people do it. Because it's one thing if you're doing it for the art form or the appreciation of the movements and all of that. It's like dancing, which is fine if you're doing it for that reason. But if you're trying to become a badass, that's not the way to do it. Somebody watched Bloodsport one too many times when they were a teenager. This guy. Yeah, you don't want to smell fish, silly. Okay. Fab Daddy says, nice. Amanda says, LOL. Entity says, how old are you? 427,218 years old in 5 months. How about that? Amanda says, art form and discipline. That's a reason to do it. For discipline, for getting your body in shape, for being able to move in ways that you don't typically move. It is not a fighting style. Never has been. How they come up with that idea, I don't know. Maybe it was at one time when nobody else knew Kung Fu, but now that everybody knows Kung Fu, it'll get you hurt. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if you've ever seen a Bruce Lee movie, you can handle a Kung Fu guy. And that's coming from a guy who studied Kung Fu well into his early 20s. Batshit says, we ride squirmy little bikes hard. Better. Chemistry than big hawk struggle. Right on. Tiny dancer, Fab Daddy says. A tiny dancer can knock you out. Absolutely. Little dancers have very strong bones, very strong muscles, and they can hurt you quickly. And they're fast. A lot faster than them big bulky guys are. Which is another thing I don't understand. Why do guys want to bulk up so much? I want to stay slender. I have muscles, but I'd prefer to stay small. I don't want to bulk up because it makes you slow and weak. I went to a restaurant one time, it was Denny's, and there was a manager there who used to be a professional wrestler, but for whatever reason wasn't anymore. But he was all buffed out and his shirt was splitting at the seams, real big dude, real tight shirt. And it seemed to me like he was showing off his muscles every time he'd go to a table, be like, can I take your order, please? And finally, I called him over to the table. I said, hey, big man. I said, let's arm wrestle. He goes, I can't do that. I'm the manager. I said, what are you, a sissy? Let's arm wrestle. Show these people what you're made out of. You going to say no to an old man? He said, all right. And he slammed his arm down, and I beat the brakes off of that guy because this is real strength. That is steroids, not strength. And that was a lesson to everybody that saw it. Big does not mean strong. Entity says, I'm 60. Congratulations. Happy birthday. It's my birthday today, too. Well, this week. It's my birthday Tuesday. It's me says, I don't get those people who slap the hardest and each take a turn. You talking about slap battles. Pow! Yeah, that's silly, isn't it? It's fun to watch. I don't want to do it. Ain't nobody slapping me like that on purpose. Unicorn says, maybe this comment might not get through, but most fights I won ended with throws to the concrete And that takes the fight right out of most men. Absolutely. And I'll tell you something else, too. It's hard to plan your victory when somebody punches you in the nose because you can't see anymore. And your face does that, and you can't stop it. So, a good swift kick in the nose usually ends the fight. A lot of the stuff people see on TV is for the purposes of entertainment. It's not real, right? For example, I'll give you an example. Yeah, I know you've seen this movie where the guy's tied to a chair and the villain is berating him, and then he picks up a rifle and hits him in the nose or in the forehead with the butt of the gun, and the guy's knocked out, and then he wakes up 20 minutes later and plans his escape when everybody's left the room. You know that scene? That's not a real scene. That's as bad as jumping in the bathtub to protect yourself from bullets or fire. That's not going to work either. Because here's a news flash. Most bathtubs are plastic. They burn, and bullets go through them quite easily. And if you have a wrought iron bathtub, by some stretch of the imagination, you still have a claw tub, bullets will go through that too. So you're not safe in a tub. So don't let anybody strike you in the face with the butt of a pistol or butt of a gun, because you're likely not to wake up for quite a while. And if you do wake up, you're certainly going to have broken bones in this area, and it's not going to be pleasant. So what is the purpose in filming things like that? I guess it's just fantasy. Amanda says, yeah, slap boxing is stupid. It is. John says, most of it is because of steroids. Do you do steroids? No, sir, I do not. Yeah. Amanda says, yep. And the guys on steroids lose their own one-eyed friend. Well, you don't lose it. It just doesn't work anymore. I'm not on steroids, I promise. Fab Daddy says, that's what I tell women, Jake. Steroids. Right on. I'm with you. Batshit says, slap battle. Dangerous. Dangerous and dumb. Why would you let somebody full on hit you as hard as they can with a slap in the face? Does that make you tough because you can not get knocked out? I think it's silly. Plus, it could do damage to your eardrum if they hit you in the ear, and it's very likely that they do. John H. says, yep, steroids will give you the small ding-dong. Yes, it will. It's me says, happy birthday, Jake, early. I got to get up early, so have a great Sunday, everybody. It's me. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the birthday wishes, and God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 for some Bible study right here on UntetheredLive. Entity says, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, need not fear the result of 100% of the battles. Sun Tzu did not say that. You're trying to quote The Art of War, and this isn't true. If you know yourself, you know your weaknesses. You do not know yourself because you do not seem to understand what your weakness is. And if you know your enemy, meaning you know his weaknesses, then it's true that you don't need to fear the result of 100 battles, but you're missing the point. Because if you know yourself and your weaknesses, and you know your enemy and his weaknesses, you don't have a battle. So you know the outcome because you didn't do it. That's the moral of that story. You find another way around the battle. That's the idea behind the art of war. You fight a battle without killing people, without striking blows, because you've thought it through and the other person hasn't. And so you know the ways around the conflict when the other person is just flailing wildly. That's the meaning of the art of war. Use wisdom, and then you'll know 100% of your battles because you won't get in them. Amanda said, that's what I said, John. LOL. Chemtrail Warrior says, hello, Jake. Hey, Chemtrail. Nice to see you. Amanda says, hi, Chemtrail. Batshit Crazy says, shrinkage. Oh, yeah. Big time. Like shriveled up Shar-Pei. Little tiny Shar-Pei. Chemtrail says, hi, Amanda. And Amanda says, good night, it's me. Chemtrail says, happy birthday, Jake. Thank you, Chemtrail. Thank you for the birthday wishes. It is a lovely day so far. Thank you. John H. says, why fight through Why fight? Throw a Bible at them with love. Right on. If you can avoid a fight, you should. Unicorn Ninja says, entity. 1, you talk like someone who's never been in any kind of battle ever. True. Yeah, people that have not experienced being punched in the nose usually run off at the mouth like that. People that have are more reserved. People that have a few times know the skinny and know that there's better ways to conduct yourself than losing your temper and resulting in somebody getting hurt, whether it be you or the other guy. And I assure you that even if you win the fight, you did not win the fight because you lost your self-respect, you lost your control. You're probably going to hurt for a week after that fight. If you're of any age above the age of 20, you're probably going to suffer. And you didn't solve anything other than busting that guy's face, which might feel good in the moment, but does not solve the problem. So what is the battle for? If nothing else, it's just toxic masculinity at work. And I'm using that word as a guy who preaches masculinity because there's other ways to be masculine besides being a bully. Entity says, speak King's English, boy. You will get your ass beat if you don't protect yourself. Well, I tell you what, Entity. Any day you feel froggy, you just come at this old man and I'll educate you in a way that you won't expect. How about that? Any day. Day or night. I'm in North Carolina. You can find me. I'm pretty popular. Fab Daddy says, if the pen is mightier than the sword, the printing press is stronger than the machine gun, and social media is stronger than a nuclear bomb. Correct. Even a Russian agent from the KGB would tell you that social conditioning is the most powerful weapon they've ever used against us. And they are using it. If you don't believe that, go back to 1984, no pun intended, and listen to Yuri Bezmenov describe what's going to happen over the next 30 years and then pay attention to what happens over the next 30 years, and you'll see that, indeed, social conditioning is the most powerful weapon on planet Earth. Chemtrail says, nobody wins a fight. This is true. And I've been fighting drones here in Monmouth County, New Jersey. What are you fighting drones for? Is Amazon trying to deliver you to death? Is that what's happening? Amanda says, entity, be respectful. Batshit Crazy says, dream vehicle under $55K, used or not. That's easy. Dodge Charger, 1971 or 69. Or Mercury Cougar, about 1968. Yeah, I have good taste. What's your dream vehicle? Amanda says, that's a saying from a great movie, Chemtrail. Nobody wins a fight? Yeah. Because it's good wisdom, and somebody used it in a movie because it's good wisdom. Nobody wins a fight. Chemtrail says, I feel froggy, Jake. Will you come on down? I'll educate you too in ways you don't expect. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Get Your Ass Whipped. You ever had your ass whipped before? How big a fella are you anyway? You're fine. Amanda says, filming, not fighting. Nobody wins a film? What are we saying? Chemtrail says, filming, not fighting. Yeah, silly. Yeah, silly head. Thanks, Amanda. I must have missed it. I've been filming drones here, and I got it. Filming, not fighting. Got it. Took me a minute. I can't really see, and so filming and fighting have the same number of letters and a G at the end, so I just thought it was fighting because we were talking about fighting. Sorry. I am blind as a bat, by the way. And thank you for correcting that because I didn't see it. You're welcome, Chemtrail, says Amanda. Batshit Crazy says we have an old CUDA, kind of rough, though. I don't know what that is. Are you talking about a barracuda? Oh, you have an old Barracuda. You need to fix that joker up because those are bad cars. Is that the one with the little fin in the back, the pointy back? Not a fin, but it's got a point in the back like a missile. Amanda says, filming drones. I got it. Drones over New Jersey for $300, Alex, says Patty. Thank you, Patty. Entity says, hey, it's almost Christmas, just like 20 days. Maybe Santa will give me a dictionary so I can understand how you speak. Now you're talking. Well, a dictionary is a good thing to have. I recommend the Webster's Dictionary. The older, the better, because they've changed the meaning of words in the modern era, and you don't want that because it's nonsense. So get an old, unabridged Webster's Dictionary for Christmas. If you'll give me your address, I'll put my email address down at the bottom here so you can check me out. If you'll give me your address, I'll send you a dictionary so that you can learn how to speak English and properly convey your message to the world. Chemtrail says, there you go, Jake. You got it. I knew I'd get there eventually. Fab Daddy says, LOL, Entity. Batshit Crazy says, yeah, Barracuda. Stripe needs a lot done, though. I hear you. Yep. I got a 99 Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer edition for my birthday. So that's pretty sweet. I'm happy about that. I don't have to freeze to death or get wet anymore. And freeze to death. Freeze to death is the operative word here. I'm tired of freezing to death, so I had to do something else. Chemtrail says, New Jersey is being invaded every night for 3 weeks, and I'm near Earl Base. I saw 4 drones last night and filmed them. This is crazy. Everybody is talking about this. Are you sure they're not UFOs? Because apparently some people think they're UFOs. I think that's silly, of course, because we make things that can do what UFOs do, and so can we project light that causes that too. If you don't believe that, watch anything filmed with a camera prior to 1985, and you'll see all kinds of UFOs in the background. But I don't know why they'd be flying drones all over the place unless Earl Base has something to do with an attack that's going to happen soon, and they're watching it, like from China or something, or Russia. But that might be. I don't know. I do know that our fearless leader, our president, the man in charge, you know, the guy with dementia that doesn't know where he's at half the time, has been allowing drones from China to fly in over California for the foreseeable 4 years and hasn't done a lot to stop them. So it's very possible that's what you're experiencing. I don't know. Of course, it might just be people trying to get a look at the newest airplane, so we'll see. Fab Daddy says, did you know light can cast a shadow? Yeah. Did you know flame does not cast a shadow? John H. says, we got the same in Britain with drones filming RAF bases. That may be a thing then. They may just be watching to see what happens, trying to get the word ahead of time. Batshit Crazy says, Chemtrail Warrior, several 1,000-hour multi-com pilot chemtrails. Interesting. Entity says, hey, pray for my enemies. Will do. I hope you have no enemies. Amanda says, Jake has made out like a bandit for his birthday so far this year, and his birthday isn't still till Tuesday. Right on. Fab Daddy says, flame can cast a shadow. No, it cannot. Get a candle and light it, and then stick it up against a wall, and you'll notice a very peculiar set of circumstances. If you shine a flashlight on it, that there is a shadow of the candlestick, and there's a shadow of the vapor that comes off of the candlestick, but there's no shadow of the flame, because flame isn't light, it's plasma, and plasma does not cast a shadow. Unicorn Ninja says, I own one of, if not the most reliable automobiles ever made. You own a Buick LeSabre? Oh, he says, a 2011 Ford Crown Victoria, only 30,000 miles on it. Well, I am a fan of the Crown Victoria. However, vehicles that model the Crown Victoria, like the Grand Marquis, The Buick Grand Marquis or whatever it is. I think it's Buick. Anyway, those are not good cars. The Crown Vic is a good car because it was made for police officers. Originally, it was designed for that. And I've always wanted a Crown Vic. I've only owned one, and I never drove it because it was broke down when I bought it, and I never got around to fixing it. And there's one of those square ones back in the day. Remember the square ones? I love Crown Vics. I love the body style. I love the way they drive. I love everything about them. I'm an old man. What can I say? I like the old cars. But I've never had one. So tell me how it is to own a Crown Vic and drive it, because I like that. I think they are great cars. I don't know if they're the most reliable ever made. I think that probably goes to the Oldsmobile. Hence the reason they don't make them anymore. Because Oldsmobiles, when you buy them, they don't break down. Ever. Chemtrail says, this one guy on Facebook is chasing him down. We are all in shock. Jake, they're everywhere now. They are not UFOs. They are drones. I know, I was being sarcastic. Fab Daddy says, black shadow with right light. Well, if you change the light spectrum, then yes, anything can cast a shadow. I'm talking about regular light, normal light in a normal environment. Flame does not cast a shadow. Yeah, you could use a black light or something, it might. Fab Daddy says, it's a yellow phosphorus light, and it will cast a shadow of flame. I'd like to see it. I'd like to know what it takes to get it to do that, too. Fab Daddy says, but that's science, and this is politics. And politically, flames don't cast shadows. Entity's message is retracted. Smart move. Unicorn says, yep, mine is a police interceptor model. Sweet. I bet that joker can fly, too. Batshit Crazy says, large jets, liters per second, kerosene essentially, into very thin air. Below negative 40 degrees, by the way. All right. Well, they're not worried about the environment. Unicorn says, they don't make the Crown Vic anymore either. Well, that's my point. The cars that are actually quality instruments that don't break down, they don't make them anymore. You ever wonder about that? Where's the Volkswagen Beetle? They don't make those anymore either. It's because they're easy to fix and they run forever. Where's the Datsun B210? They don't make those anymore. Out of Toyota, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Datsun, all those little four-cylinder cars from the 80s, which one was the best? Which one did you never find in a junkyard because they just didn't stop running? And that would be the Datsun. And they don't make them anymore. Explain that to me. Why not get rid of some of this garbage like the Ford Taurus and bring back the Datsun B210? They're both cheap to make, and the Datsun is worth buying. The Ford Taurus is not. I don't know why they do that. I guess it's a money thing. They want to sell you a car every year, and they can't do that if your car lasts 20 years. Right on. They caught time warp 200 years ago, says Entity. Who did? Who's they? And where did they time warp to? What time? Chemtrail says Trump's property is invaded. His airspace is full of drones. Jake, please look into this. The nation is going crazy. Now, there are about 10 states that are reporting these small car-sized drones. Yeah, that's interesting. I will look into it. That's scary. Amanda says, the Pontiac Firebird, I missed them. I missed them too, but they're not reliable cars. They're pretty, but they're not reliable. Chemtrail says, no one did shit for my grandpa today for Pearl Harbor Day. Trump is in Paris at Notre Dame, and Joe is sleeping. I'm sorry. Well, happy Pearl Harbor Day to your grandpa. Much honor and love to him for his sacrifice. And if you see him, if he's alive, thank him for his service. Entity says they need that KV-7 tank. Right on. I don't know what that is. I hope that's not the one that's run on electric power, because that's stupid. Fab Daddy says Corolla, if they survive wrecks. Yeah, Toyota Corolla was a good car. I owned one. I drove it a lot. But the Datsun B210 was better. But back in the 80s, the Toyota Corolla basically was a Datsun B210. They were basically the same car. Batshit Crazy says condensation trails. Severe heat dumped into very cold air. Yep, that's a chemtrail. Fab Daddy says right chemtrail. About the Pearl Harbor Day. Unicorn Ninja says exactly. Anything that doesn't have built-in obsolescence is discontinued. I don't agree with that. I think they should make things to last like they did in the 50s. And they just don't anymore. Everything's made out of plastic and aluminum. Fab Daddy says, I will never forget Pearl Harbor Day. Batshit Crazy says, current laws, airbags, extensive electronics, complex engineering. All right. I don't know what you mean by that, but you are correct. Chemtrail Warrior says, Joe made a speech yesterday, but Pearl Harbor is today, Joe. You idiot. Get off the babysitter, Brandon. Right on. John H. says, Dotson, you'll find them a lot in Indiana. In India. Yeah. Yeah, they might even still make them over there. I don't know, but they don't sell them here anymore. I wouldn't think that the Dotson company went out of business. I don't think they did. They might have. But hopefully they'll get intelligent and rebuild the Datsun industry in America, because that is a great car. It's not very comfortable, but you cannot kill it. I know. I've tried. My last Datsun B210, I was driving down the road and I saw it behind this house that looked like a frat house, and it was half covered with a tarp and sitting on blocks. And I saw it for like a month. And so finally I stopped one day and I knocked on the door, and this young fella came to the door all disheveled and no shirt on, and he says, can I help you? I said, yeah, that Datsun B210 there, is there any chance you'd want to get rid of that or sell it? He goes, yeah, I guess so. I said, well, what do you want for it? He says, $80. I said, $80? Here. So I gave him $80 for a Datsun B210. I said, I'll be back in an hour. I went down to the junkyard and I bought 4 used tires, a battery, and 4 quarts of oil. And I came back and I put the 4 tires on it. I put the new battery in it, and I poured the 4 quarts of oil in it. I didn't even drain out the oil that was in it to start with. I just put new oil in it. It didn't have much. And I pushed it off because it didn't have an ignition. And the half-covered tarp was because the driver's side was caved in like it had hit a tree sideways, and the door wouldn't shut, and the glass was busted. Windshield was cracked. But I pushed it off, and it fired up immediately. First try. I pushed it off by myself, by the way. I can't push my motorcycle off by myself, but I pushed this Datsun B210 off by myself, and it fired up. And I drove it for 5 years just like that. Now, eventually I did beat the fenders and the door back out smooth to where I could shut it, and I did put a boat ignition in it so I didn't have to keep jumping it off. But that's all I did to that car. I didn't even put more tires on it. The 4 used tires that I bought stayed on it for 5 years. It did not die. It turns out that car was owned by a group of teenagers. About 12 teenagers got together and bought this car, and they used it to drive through the woods and jump over ditches and, roughhouse in the woods. They didn't ever drive it on the highway. And that's what I inherited, a car that had been through whoever owned it prior to them buying it, and then them driving it and jumping it off of ditches and stuff. And then I got it. And I drove it for 5 years, and I gave it to a woman I needed to get rid of and sent her to Florida with it, so I never saw her again or the car. But I would have kept it until now had it not been for that. And I'm telling you, they don't make a better vehicle on planet Earth than the Datsun B210. And if I ever find another one, I'm going to buy it because I love them. Entity says, do you believe that they sank the ship on purpose? Some people do. What ship and who are they? Chemtrail says, a contrail is above 33,000 feet. The vapor disappears like your breath. A chemtrail is at any height and spreads out through the sky, and now they are using coal in chemtrail tanks. Yep, there is a thing called seating. If you want to know more about it, I suggest you become a member and watch my show Hyperbowl. And in fact, I think you can get it without being a member now. It's been long enough. It's probably out in the public. But go watch one of the episodes about cloud seeding. I think it's episode 5 or 6. There's 6 episodes or 7 episodes of it. Go watch that show, Hyperbowl. You will not regret it. You'll learn some interesting stuff about chemtrails in the form of cloud seeding. Batshit Crazy says, our ranch rig, 720, 2.2 liter diesel, Datsun, 1984. Rock on. Great cars. Fab Daddy says, Jake doesn't worry about salted roads. Yeah, we salt our roads when it snows. Oh, John H. is hitting me up. He says, I had a Morris Minor back in the day. I just sold a Morris Minor convertible not too long ago. I had one here, and it's the one it was a 42. It was the one that James Bond first appeared in the first James Bond movie. A Morris Minor, which is the grandson of the Morris and the grandfather of the Mini Cooper. They're all the same company. Morris was a company that made those gangster cars with the running boards and the big square roof. Remember those, the long front ends with the big fenders? That was one of those was a Morris. Other companies made those too, but Morris was the popular one, especially in Britain. And they're not easy to find here in America. Most of the people that own Morris Minors are in England or in that area in Britain somewhere. But there are some of them here, and this was a right side driver, left side driver. So it was modified to be brought to the United States. It was not a right-hander. So that's a little bit unusual, and I had one, and I just sold it not too long ago, about a year or two ago. And those are cool little cars, not very powerful, and definitely a death trap if you get hit in one. But they are cool little cars and probably go 150 miles per gallon. So I am a fellow Morris Minor owner, previous owner, and I sympathize with your plight there, John H. Chemtrail Warrior says, I had a shit green B210. Right on. Great car, wasn't it? Batshit Crazy says, bump start. Right on. Chemtrail says, yep. Mine had a great engine, very light car, so you could push it. Right on. I used to go to flea markets in my B210, and it would look like the clampets with shit tied all over the back of the car. It'd be so heavy in the back that the front wheels would bounce off of the ground while I was driving down the road. If I got up to like 55 miles an hour, I couldn't steer anymore. But I did it, and it never did give up on me. That was a great car. Tough car. Fab Daddy says, I retract that last statement. I believe he lives close to the ocean. I do. Close enough. Close enough that rust is a problem. Likewise with the salt in the roads, that'll rust out your undercarriage pretty badly. Entity says, do you believe that they sank the Titanic on purpose? I do. I do too. I think it was politically motivated, and I also think that they did not sink the Titanic. They sank the sister ship, which I can't remember the name of now, but it might be the Britannia. I can't remember. But there was 2 ships built exactly alike. One of them was the Titanic. The other one was the other ship, and I think that was the ship that went out that day, not the Titanic. I could be wrong. But I do believe J.P. Morgan was on that ship, by the way, and several other very prominent people. And I do believe it was a money thing. I corrected it. Good deal. Batshit Crazy says, some old Volvo wagons. Yeah, we were talking about station wagons this afternoon, me and Amanda. I love old station wagons, especially like the Dodge or the Ford station wagon, circa 1970. Those are great cars. Hard to find these days in good running shape. Batshit Crazy says, my personal favorite was the H6 Subaru Decathlete Evaluation. Nice. Way to go. Look at the big brain on batshit. Using some big words there. Very nice. I appreciate the use. Chemtrail Warrior says, my old university in Oregon is number 1 in the nation, playing number 3 Penn State. Let me get back to the game. I love you all. Be good to yourselves. Jake, for your birthday, I'll light a candle for you. Thank you, Chemtrail. You could just say happy birthday. That's good enough. But I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm about to go, too, because it's almost 10:30. This is a good conversation, and we got 400 views, 403. So why are we smoking again, says Monkey Juice. I never quit. I just slowed down. And because I just hadn't got back to it, that's all. Out of juice right now. And the actual vapor in the house needs the juice that we do have, so I just been smoking. But I'll slow back down after a while. But my mama didn't raise no quitter, so, you know. Amanda says, one of the best cars I had was a Geo Prism. It was great on gas. That don't make it a good car, though. A Geo Prism is an aluminum death trap with 3 cylinders. But it is good on gas. And I would own one, because good on gas matters in this economy. My truck, the one I just got, not so much good on gas. I've been driving a motorcycle for the past 6 years, so I have to adjust to the new gas schedule, as it were. Chemtrail says, I jacked up the ass. You go, girl. Oh, wait, I probably should finish that. I jacked up the ass, that of the car, and it bounced, too. I know exactly what you are talking about. The other ship is the Lithuania. Okay, Lithuania, not Britannia. All right, I knew it was something like that. I knew it was a place, the name of it. Unicorn Ninja says, Amanda, I agree. I owned a Geo Prism, and it just wouldn't quit. They had Toyota engines and were tough as nails. Well, I've never owned one, so I'm really talking out of my ass, but, you know how it be. And hey, Monkey Juice, Merry Christmas. Fab Daddy says, hey, Monkey. Amanda says, hi, Monkey. The Titanic had 2 sister ships, the Olympic and the Britannic. Well, there you go. So it was the Brittany, but it was the Britannic. Well, I think it was the Britannic that sank. That's what I think. And I think that because I watched some documentaries on the different political things that were happening in that world, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm totally spitting out a conspiracy theory right now because I have no idea whether that's true or not. But in my opinion, there was some fuckery afoot at the launch of the Titanic, and something happened that was not a ship hitting an iceberg that was right in front of it when they have people trained to spot things like that in big ships. More than that happened. Also, there's some discrepancy about an explosion. I don't know. It's an interesting story, though. Unicorn Ninja says, Toyota's quality is dropping quickly, though. Definitely aren't making them like they used to. That's a fact. One of those little 1985 Toyota trucks, you want that for a work truck. You don't want the new Tacoma or whatever it is. It's not the same thing. Not the same animal. I agree 100%. Chemtrail says the Olympic I meant was the ship they sunk. It might have been. Amanda says, LOL, get 'em, monkey. About smoking? Yeah, I know. I need to quit. Monkey Juice says, hello, everybody. Amanda says, yes, Ninja. I'm going to retract my next message just to screw with the conversation flow. Batshit Crazy says, modern street legal first vehicles must have many features which add weight. Maybe. Amanda says $1 worth of gas could drive all day in a Geo. Well, I remember the days when you could scrounge pennies off the floor and drive all day, and that was a while ago. My first car that I could drive on the road was a Ford Granada, which was a nice car in those days. A little bit old school, maybe for older people, but I liked it. And I literally put pennies of gas in that car to drive it around. We drove around everywhere. I don't know how, but we did, because gas ain't that cheap anymore. Amanda says, my Geo had a Toyota 4-cylinder in it. Yep. Patty says, raised in Carmagia. I owned a fastback station wagon. Bug Golf Jetta. A Jetta station wagon? I've never owned a Jetta, but from what I understand, they were kind of cool cars. It's like a Macintosh, you know. Certain people gravitate towards the iPhone as opposed to Windows. Well, certain people went towards Volkswagen rather than other cars, or Jeep rather than other cars. And those people are like niche owners of a brand, like a person who owns a BMW. You know, they don't own anything but BMWs. And I think Jetta fell into that category. I've never been in one, though. Kim Trail says, damn it, the Britannia was the one that sunk. That's what I thought. Fab Daddy says, I call smoking exercising my lungs, and if I stop, I worry they will lose strength. Amen, brother. A 3-banger was a Suzuki with Swift engine. The 3-banger. Suzuki was a good vehicle. John H. says, thanks, Jake and everyone. Be safe. Love to all. John, God bless you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow night. Kim Trail says, I actually had to look that one up. It was the Britannia that sunk. Right on. I thought I knew what I was talking about. I only watched that documentary like 10 years ago, so I wasn't sure. Amanda says, good night, John. Entity says, can we get a RIP Commander riff? A RIP Commander riff. You mean a reference from a movie called RIP Commander? I don't know one. If you'll give me one to say, I'll say it, though, just for your entertainment. Kim Trail says, thanks, Amanda. And Amanda says, the Suzuki Samurai were 3 cylinders. I think that's probably what he was talking about, the 3-banger. Amanda says, you're welcome, Kim Trail. Kim Trail says, thanks, Amanda. Amanda says, you're welcome. Kim Trail says, I don't think they even launched the Titanic. That's what the conspiracy is. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense. Monkey Jew says, my buddy had a light blue Granada. And that's funny. Yep, that's a very rare car. I've never seen another one other than the one I owned. But I've seen them in movies, but never in real life. It wasn't a very popular car, but it was a great little car, Ford Granada. Mine was brown and had brown or tan interior. And that steering wheel cover with the laces on it, you know the one I'm talking about, where the laces always fray and poke you in the hand while you're trying to drive, with the little holes in it and the laces around it, crisscrossed. It was one of those. Old people car, for sure. Unicorn Ninja says, Amanda, I was young when I had my Geo and never changed the oil, and I drove it for years. It was ridiculous. Right on. Batshit says, you're welcome. Oh, sorry. VW TDL diesel. Excellent efficiency. I've never owned a diesel vehicle before. I can't speak to that. I don't like the way they smell, so I've never gravitated towards them because I couldn't imagine smelling that all day, every day as I drive around. But that diesel has a funky scent to me. I don't like it at all. But I understand that people love them that own them. And for a while, diesel was cheaper than gas. I don't think it's that way anymore, but it used to be like $2 cheaper than gas, which would be the reason to own a diesel engine. But who knows? Also, you can convert any car with a carburetor to run on propane. I don't know if you know that or not. If it has a carburetor, you can convert it to run on propane. And propane used to be way cheaper than gasoline. But not anymore. So that's useless knowledge now. Kim Trail says the front of the Titanic exploded and they tried to weld it in time but didn't make the date. So everyone boarded the Britannic. See what I mean? Something about an explosion. Patty says, hold on. No Man. They were 4 cylinders and were a great car. A No Man? I don't think I've ever heard of one of those. A No Man. Or you're talking about a Jetta. No Man, comma, A Jetta was a 4-cylinder and it was a great car. Got it. Okay. Amanda says, yes, Ninja. I drove the shit out of mine, too. Overheated it 3 times on accident and never had any problems out of it. It leaked oil and all. LOL. Right on. Entity says, I need you to say, rest in peace, Riff Commander. Rest in peace, Commander. How about that? Rest in peace, Commander. You want me to do it with an accent? Rest in peace, Commander. Does that make you feel better? You feel whole now? Fab Daddy says, had a great night. 2 and 5. Time to watch TikTok videos someone sent me. Much love. Well, I hope you enjoy the little riff on what I did there. And by the way, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to scroll up, there's a little clip from my show last night. If you want to watch that, go get it. I wish there was more, but there wasn't. That's what I got. Unicorn says, yep, I took my Geo into the quick oil change shop after driving it for a couple of years, and the guys laughed and said it had about a cup of oil left in the engine, but it was still driving great. Right on, man. Batshit says, Geo Metro 5-door, 1-liter, 3-cycle Suzuki, or 3-cylinder Suzuki 5-speed, 13-inch rims. Right on. So we just found out what nationality batshit crazy is, because there's only one group of people that cares about rims. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But yes, I've had quite a few 5-speeds in my life. In fact, I prefer it. And they're always great cars, all of them. Any manual transmission is a great car. It just is. Amanda says, good night, Fab Daddy. Enjoy. Chemtrail says, yes, laced steering wheels. I remember them. The plastic would crack and scratch my hands and cut me. Yep, those are the ones. Amanda says, I don't like diesels. I don't want a vehicle that rattles every time you start it. Well, that doesn't bother me if it's supposed to do that. Unicorn says, if you think diesel smells funny, you wouldn't want a diesel that also runs DEF, and that stuff smells like cat urine. I certainly don't want that, no. I love the smell of gasoline, though. And when I was a kid, and this is probably why I'm so screwed up now, but when I was a kid, I used to stand there at the school when they had all the buses lined up before they left, and that exhaust, back when they had lead in the gas tank, you know, that exhaust smell, I would just suck it in because I love that smell. That's just something about that smell. And lawnmowers do it still now, but cars don't smell that way anymore, but they used to. And I love that smell. Is anybody with me on that? Chemtrail says, first car Ford made ran on cannabis oil. I don't doubt that. Considering that for a long time, cannabis was the main export of the United States until the cotton gin was invented. And that guy, I can't remember his name right now, changed the landscape of the world and is the reason why marijuana is illegal right now. So they can sell cotton. Because the cotton gin made it ridiculously cheap to produce cotton. But until then, it was hemp. Little known United States facts that you may not have known, that you live on land that was cultivated and paid for largely by marijuana, which wasn't called marijuana then, it was called hemp. Batshit Crazy says, we lived on the Mexican border way back. Diesel was nearly free then. Right on. Monkey Juice says, yes, Amanda, they rattle, and I hate the cold. You got to plug them in to heat them up. They got little glow plugs in them that you plug in, and it heats up the engine and keeps it warm so that you can crank it in the mornings. I don't want that either. That's too much work. Amanda says, and why the hell do I want to plug in my vehicle when it's cold? The hell with that. Well, around here, you'd have to plug it in. Right on. Chemtrail Warrior says, I got to get back to it. Hang on. My neighbor in Texas made a car that ran on water. He was visited by the FBI and then disappeared. Back in the early days of flight, the airplanes ran on water. Yep. I believe that. Probably steam. Batshit Crazy says, most fun car, including reliability, is a Toyota MR2. Seriously. This sounds like a person that's never drove a Datsun 280ZX, which is basically the Batmobile in small form. If you ever driven a Datsun 280ZX, then you know what a fun car is. It's like driving a go-kart with a big nose. Fast. Another fun car is the Fiera. How do you say that? It's not Ferrari, the other one, the little one. Fiero, that's it. That's a fun car. A friend of mine had one. It's like right on the ground. You can feel the cracks in the pavement when you're driving, and you got to go down to sit into it. So I would like lean against the seat and slide down into it and then put my legs in because it was way down there. And it was a 4-speed, but the gear shifter was only that tall, so it fit in your hand, and you just like that. Man, that was the funnest car I've ever driven in my life, a Fiero. And if I ever can find one for sale, I'll buy it because those jokers are fast. Entity says the police were trying to arrest a guy, and he said the virus had created 4 years ago, later COVID-19. Oh, scary. COVID-19 conspiracies. I hear you. It's the flu. Get over it. Batshit Crazy says, love two-stroke bikes. I've never ridden a two-stroke bike. That's the one that goes... Yep, I never driven one of those. But I've seen lots of them. Amanda says, yep, Bat. But the MR2 is very uncomfortable with 3 people in it, LOL. I think Fiero only sits 2 people. There is no back seat. It's just engine, seat, wheels. That's it. And the trunk is in the front. Unicorn says, funny you say that. I've heard certain percentage of the population are attracted to the smell of gas. Something in the DNA that makes it attractive. Well, if it's true, I've got it. Because I love the smell of exhaust. Like the gas that comes out of those old engines. It's like when most people smell roses. That's my reaction to that smell. I just love it. It's soothing. I want to breathe it in. And I know it's bad for you because it's full of lead. It's probably made me stupid, but I did love that smell. Chemtrail says, in fact, Ford made the doors out of cannabis. He called the press and took a sledgehammer to the door, and it wouldn't dent at all. I remember that. I don't remember it. I remember seeing that. Amanda says 280Z is a blast. Yes, they're great cars. They're probably garbage, but they were fun to drive. Batshit says water injection exists. Mechanical principles work. Amen. Also, you can get hydrogen out of water pretty easily, and that can also fuel your car. I can make a vehicle run on wood chips and water and fire. It's called a gasifier. Look into it. You can make your own fuel. You won't go very fast, but it will run. Amanda says the Fiero and the MR2 are basically the same thing, are they? I don't know. All I know is that them old 80s model Fieros that look like a Ferrari or like a dollar store Ferrari. Yes, I'm into that. I want that. And also, can I just say that the Ferrari that Magnum PI drove was a Datsun? I'm sorry. Look at it. Yes, it was made by Ferrari, but look at it. Go look at one up close. It's a Datsun. I don't know about the newer Ferraris, but the old one, the one in the 80s that Magnum PI drove, it's a Datsun. Honda Prelude is a good car. True. I bought one for a girlfriend in college when I was in college. I paid $1,500 for it. It was a 5-speed, and it was purple of all colors. But it ran good. And it continued to run good. Never had a problem with that car. The Prelude is a great car, so Honda makes a good car, and Saturn makes a good car. Chemtrail says 280ZX was like driving a Corvette. It leans back like a Corvette. Weird for her to drive, right? Well, I'm telling you, it's all nose. The seat is in the back over the back wheels, and the motor, I guess, is in the back. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Might be in the front. But anyway, it's all nose, like a Corvette. You're absolutely right. And it sits like that, too. It's low to the ground, and it's a blast to drive. And that Corvette was a blast to drive. The Stingray, the one with the telescopic steering wheel. You know what I'm talking about? Patty says, my brother owned a Fiero. Fast 80s. Yes. That's a great car. I'd love to have one. Just for funsies. Amanda says, yes, Jake, Fiero and MR2 are two-seaters. Got it. Boy Kisser says, hi. I hope you're female. If not, weirdo. But, hi. Nice to see you. Batshit Crazy says, smells like victory. Yes, it does. Amanda says, hi, Boy Kisser, welcome. Chemtrail Warrior says, first case of bird flu in Arizona today. Here we go. And Fauci's replacement says that January 21st, a terrible virus is going to hit the world. I wonder how they know that. It's almost like they're planning it, isn't it? I don't know. Listen to the science. Don't listen to me. YouTube knows everything. I know nothing. Unicorn Ninja says, LOL, most of us over 45 breathed in plenty of lead as a child. It had to have some kind of effect on us. Well, I know that lead will actually make your IQ drop. It makes people complacent, and it messes with your critical thinking skills, which is why they outlawed it in the first place. And they did a study, and like 90% of the kids of the world were infected with lead poisoning of some kind in that period in time. So they outlawed it and banned it from gasoline and all that stuff, and paint, because all of our houses were painted with lead paint, and what they were painted on was asbestos. So, yeah, we probably all die of cancer. I'm just saying. Dumb and dying of cancer. But, yeah. Amanda says, right, Ninja? Chemtrail says, yep, Magnum PI drove a Datsun. Doesn't that car look like a Datsun? Look at the dashboard. Look at the way it's built. Everything about it says Datsun. It really does. But it's a Ferrari. I think somebody took the plate and put it on a Datsun and said, here you go. $200,000, please. That's what I think. What it is says, what do you know about banging gears? What it is? I've been banging gears all my life. Drink a couple dozen beers, go out and jam some gears. I'm a long-haired redneck, rock and roll son of the South. You hear me? You dig? Yeah, I know a little bit about banging gears. Batshit Crazy says, hydrogen, difficult to store, explosive, practical, use not soon. True. But you can power a car with hydrogen. And if you're burning it as you're making it, you don't need to store it. Amanda says, hi, what it is. And 280Z motor is in front. Okay, I couldn't remember, but I remembered it had a long hood. Linda Davis, hello, darling. Happy birthday. Nice to see you. Oh, it's my birthday. I see. I see what you did there. Amanda says, hi, Linda. How are you, hon? How are you feeling, hon? Yes, how are you feeling? I hope you're getting better. What it is says, hello. Hey, what it is, good to see you. Merry Christmas and happy birthday. All right, it's my birthday. Chemtrail Warrior says, the worst car I had to drive was a Beetlebug. Weird shifting design. Is it really? I know they were uncomfortable, but they were cars you couldn't hardly kill them things. My first car was a 1984 RX-7, and it was fun to drive, says Unicorn Ninja. RX-7, I remember those. Those were nice little speed demons. Chemtrail says, hello, Linda. And Amanda says, LOL Ninja. Old Mazda, fun cars and trucks. The Mazda RX-7. Yep, I had a Grand Am. I think Mazda made that, didn't they? And not quite an RX-7, but whatever. Entity says, boy kisser, weird, huh? I'm just riffing, man. Don't worry about me. Linda Davis says, hanging in there, Amanda. Thanks for asking. Batshit Crazy says, piston aircraft still use lead, high-octane fuel. I hear you. I didn't know that either. Amanda says, good, Linda. You're welcome, hon. I've been praying for you. Oh, that's so sweet. I got such great people here. What it is says, what about the exhaust of an engine that runs on alcohol or high-octane racing fuel? I don't know. I've never smelled that, but I'm sure I'd like it because I like that alcohol-y scent, you know? Like I like the taste of medicine, you know, like painkillers, that taste. I like that. Methamphetamines, whatever it is. I like that taste. So I'm sure it's because of the exhaust thing. Which is why I have to stay away from that kind of stuff, because I like it. And that would be really easy for me to fall into a trap. So, you know, keep me away from those things. Linda says, you're the best, Amanda. Thank you. Stop that with the door. Leave it open. Amanda says, long hood on a 280Z is mostly because they had straight sixes in them. Right on. A straight six on a 4-cylinder body frame. Think about that for a minute. That's a fast car. Straight inline 6 engines. Long hood necessary, says Batshit Crazy. I tell you what I found. Pontiac makes a Grand Am, not Mazda. I'm sorry. I must have had a Mazda in there somewhere because I remember a Mazda, but it wasn't an RX-7. It was a cheaper version. Anyway, I was junking cars when I was about 25 years old, and I come across this Studebaker. Yes, a Studebaker. And it was down in a gully and had telephone poles piled on top of it. So we got a tractor, and we spent all day moving those telephone poles, and then we come along it up the hill and got it out onto the road, put some tires on it, and was taking it to the junk. And on the way to the junk, the chain locked up under the wheel or something, and we went into a spin, and we spun about 3 times in between traffic on a rainy road, like a helicopter, 2 vehicles spinning simultaneously. And when we finally come to a stop, I said, we need to get rid of this thing. And we took it to the junkyard. The guy paid me. We took it back to the back, and I gave him some of the money back to take his crane with the magnet and pick that car up as high as that crane would go. And it went way up there, about 80 feet in the air. I don't know how high it was. It was pretty high, as high as the crane would go, and dropped it. And as it was falling, I thought to myself, you know, that's a straight 6 that I bet I could crank it up right now and run. Straight 6. There's nothing to it. It is a well-sought-after engine. I could probably get $1,000 for that motor. And then it hit the ground and splattered all over the place. That's what happens when you let your emotions control you. I wanted to watch that car die because it almost killed me that day. But if I'd have been smart, and this car, by the way, did not have a dent on it anywhere. All original, no rust. Surface rust, but you could wipe it off with your hand. No rust through the body, anywhere. Had the original ashtray still in it. Had the original interior. It was in mint condition, only had been sitting there for 50 years, however long. And if I'd have put a little love into that car, I would have had a Studebaker with a straight 6 engine that you couldn't kill. And I dropped it from as high as I could get it. Like a moron. And I regret that to this day. I hope you enjoyed that anecdote. Now I got to go to bed. That took it out of me. Yeah, Pontiac, says Unicorn. Yeah, I knew I had it wrong, but... Entity says, I played as both Entity and Boy Kisser. Get pranked. Right on. You do your thing. Amanda says, I love the smell of a Cam 2 race fuel. I don't know what that smells like. Chemtrail says, I like the smell of cut grass. I do too. Freshly cut grass, that's a beautiful scent. What it is says, let's huff some gas and fall on our ass. I've done that before too. And you hallucinate and you hear weird noises when you huff gas. Don't do that, kids. Although it is cheaper than cocaine. Batshit Crazy says, famous quote, am not hooked on cocaine. I just like the smell. I'm not hooked on cocaine. I just like the smell of it. Right on. I hate cocaine, but I like the way it smells. Amanda says, LOL, what it is. Chemtrail Warrior says, my girlfriend got a brand new Lexus yesterday. Very roomy. Engine is very quiet like a Tesla. This is what I know about Lexuses. Right now, they're basically a Toyota that cost $100,000. But back in the day when they first came out, they were handmade at the Faux Hill factory in England. And that's a factory owned by the, what is it? Is it Pearl? Somebody here from England? John left. Anyway, there's a company, Opel, that's what it is. Opel is the name of the company that makes BMWs and Mercedes and Lexus bodies. And back in the day, they were handmade vehicles. Like the metal was pounded out by hand. It was assembled by hand. All leather interior done by hand. And that was worth the money. But it was like the first version of that car. And then after that, it was like a Toyota. So you're not getting your money's worth when you buy a Lexus anymore. If you can find one of the original run, that's the one you want. But they are very pricey. Batshit Crazy says, cocaine, not trigonometry. Right on. I watched that podcast. You like trigonometry? Chemtrail says, my girlfriend got one, I meant. Right on. What it is says, what about the Camaro and the Trans Am? Well, I feel about those like I feel about all cars. The older, the better. I don't like the new Camaros and the new Trans Ams. But the old ones, starting at about 1969, that Camaro, that's a baller. That's a great car. And I even liked them up to about the IROC Z era, about 82, 83, somewhere in that area. I liked them up until then. But when they started getting boxy like the IROC, they all looked that way, I didn't like them anymore. And then what they came out with next, the 2000s era, the bubbly one, I really don't like that one. Unless they go back to the roots, I'm going to continue to not like Camaros and Trans Ams. But I used to love them. Matter of fact, I had a Trans Am for a little while. Wasn't mine, but I got to drive it. And it was a badass car. It was like the Smokey and the Bandit car. T-tops and all. And I've owned 2 or 3 Camaros in my life. The, 85, 89 versions, somewhere in that area. And an IROC Z. I owned an IROC Z for a little while. Not a good car. Amanda says, bat shit crazy. Have you ever heard of the theme song from the TV show Overhaul? Probably. That's the one with Chip Foose in it, ain't it? The car designer. Amanda says, now you're talking what it is. Those are my favorite. She likes the Camaros and the Trans Ams. Linda Davis says, we had an autistic boy neighbor that used to love climbing on Walter's backhoe and tractors until one day his mother found him sniffing the gas, and we had to put a stop to that. Well, he liked the smell of it too, I'm sure. And by the way, I didn't know Walter had a backhoe. Interesting. I'll have to ask him how that works. That's a woman of the night that prefers to do things in the back. Butt stuff. Backhoe. Sorry. It's a bad joke. Chemtrail says, I'm sorry. Forgive me for that. Chemtrail says, I flipped my Camaro on purpose into a lake by our high school. We all did it when we wanted to get rid of the car. Man, I wonder how many cars are in that lake now. That's an interesting thought. Batshit Crazy says, I don't know the show, Overhauling. Chemtrail Warrior says, yep, it's a nice car, but I wouldn't buy it. It's wide. Right on. You mean the Camaro? Amanda says, it's a song called Gasoline. Look it up. It's a cool song. Gasoline. Not to be confused with the country song Kerosene. Amanda says 71 split bumper Camaro. So sexy. Kim Trail says best truck. Oh, that's easy. Dodge Ram. Built Ram tough. Actually, there's quite a few good trucks out there. The Ford F-150, that's a great truck. The older ones, that 1985 Ford F-150, it's hard to beat one of those. Chevy Silverado, circa 90, somewhere in that area. Great truck. Any Ford Ram before 1995, anything before that. The C10, the Ford C10, the big one, not the little one, is a great truck. The Ford Ranger is a great truck if it's in the 80s. Now, when I talk about vehicles, always assume I mean the 80s or before, because I don't like new things at all. I don't like anything made new. But the old stuff, yes. Amanda says 1978 Trans Am. Ugh, I'd love to have one. Eastbound and down, you gotta go there to get one, 'cause they don't make them up north anymore. You got a long way to go and a short drive to get there. Just get on 95 and let that puppies run. Batshit Crazy says there are manual shift turbo diesel cars, trucks, and vans all across the world except here. Really? Manual shift vans and trucks. I've had a manual shift truck before. Oh, turbo diesel. I got you. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know anything about diesels. What it is, what about 3 on the tree? I have had a GMC with 3 on the tree before, the granny shifter. It's interesting. It definitely is that. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but it is drivable, and it is easy because it only has 3 gears. First, second, and, oh, yeah, that one. And mine was a GMC step side, about 76, I think was the year, something like that. It was old. Anyway, it was all rusted up. The whole body was surface rust. It was the color of rust. But it was a great, powerful truck. And I worked for a guy, shifty as all get out. I don't even know how I got this job or how I kept it, because I was a repo man for a car lot. But I only saw the guy like once in a while. He was an old man, and I think he was dying. And I would go by and get my paycheck, and that's it. I didn't do anything. I didn't repo any cars. He gave me a truck to drive to go repo cars, and that's what I did. And I worked that job for like a year. You remember that, Amanda? You were there. And that's a shady job I had there. I don't even know if that even qualifies as a real job, but I was getting paid and I had a vehicle, so I was happy. I think I repoed 1 car. Chevy Silverado, Kim Trail, says Amanda. And Amanda says, yes, Jake, Chip Foose. Yep, that's that overhauling. Kim Trail says, my favorite car is a 1987 Cutlass Supreme. Yes, I love Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes. I've had 2 or 3 of them. I like the Brougham better than the Cutlass. Oldsmobile Brougham is a better car. But the Cutlass is pretty. I'll give you that. Walter is a backhoe, LOL. Oh, telling stories. What it is FAD stands for fake-ass Dodge, right? FAD, fake-ass Dodge. Yep. Ford stands for effed up, old, rebuilt Dodge. Kim Trail says, OMG, no, Amanda. I lived next to a Mexican couple, and they worked hard and got off work and blasted Gasoline song. Great. Wow, it's in my head. Now it's in my head. Blasted the Gasoline song. They were probably watching Overhauling over there. Amanda says, how about an 80s Buick Grand National? Anything made by Buick was a decent car. I won't say it was a great car because they did have problems, but Buick was a decent car. Oldsmobile is the best car made, hands down, by any company ever. It just is. Argue with me. Prove me wrong. But there's a reason they don't make them anymore. Chemtrail says, my dad had a Silverado, and it was yellow, and he loved it. But the best truck I ever had was a Ford 250. What power. Yes, I think the F-250, I've never driven one, but I think they're probably better than the 150, which I have driven. Monkey Juice says, I had a 1982 Trans Am and a 1985 Bronco, and they both met an oak tree. Somebody needs to learn how to drive. Or cut down trees, one or the other. Amanda says, yes, I do remember that. You worked for that old man, the creepy old man that... Ugh, weird. Monkey Juice says, my bad. That's all right. You can say it. Batshit says, Stellantis Group. Look that one up. Chrysler, Fiat, etc. In huge trouble. Well, I would imagine so. They've been going out of style since Chrysler paired with Jeep, and it was Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Whatever the other one was. There was 4 of them. But they've been in trouble for a while. Amanda says, LOL, you're welcome, Chemtrail. Batshit says, fail on race day, Ford. Right on. Effed over rebuilt Dodge. Now, I like old better. Effed up old rebuilt Dodge. I had a Cutlass Supreme Brougham. Exactly. Best car ever, says Chemtrail. Right on. I did too. I had a blue one. Brougham. And it was my favorite car ever. I love the plushy interior. I love how comfortable it was to drive. I love that I could catch it on fire, watch it burn for 30 minutes, and then show up the next day and crank it up and drive it. That was a tough car. Also, Amanda might remember that one. I thought it was gone. I went to a gas station to put gas in it, and it caught on fire, and it sat there and burned until it stopped burning, which means all the plastic underneath was gone in the hood. It was on fire, like they were going to call a fire truck, but it went out. Anyway, I came back the next day with a truck, was going to tow it home, and just for shits and giggles, I went in and turned the key, and it cranked up. And I drove it home like that. No plastic under the hood. Imagine that. That's raw wires everywhere. But it ran. Amanda says, Ford backwards is driver returns on foot. Right on. Linda says, I had a Cutlass and a Brougham, and my ex was a car guy, so I've had everything from a 1969 Camaro convertible to a BMW and an Audi. I think Audis are good cars, too. I don't know. I've never had one, but I've ridden in one, and they seem like really well-built cars. Chemtrail says the 87 was the last car before they put computer chips in them, and I think it had a 287. Yes, Oldsmobile is the best car ever. Mine had a 305 in it. Oldsmobile 305. And I also had one with a big block, which was a 350. And but I like that 305. It's got the perfect amount of power for that size car. And it just made a better car. Oldsmobile is the best car, hands down. I will die on that hill. It just is. They're not the prettiest, but they are the best. And I wish they would come back. I miss Oldsmobile. And I like saying the word, Oldsmobile, which is short for old school car is better than every other car, mobile. Amanda says, I do remember that too. Right on. Chemtrail says, it was gold with white wall tires, and I put an amp in the trunk, and I used to play basketball at the school, and I'd open the trunk, and the whole car bounced. Wow. Muggy Juice says, I had a Cutlass Salon that met an oak tree also. Again, learn how to cut down oak trees or drive, one or the other. And be careful. That's terrible. Terrible fate for 3 cars to hit trees. I've never been in a wreck on purpose. Batshit Crazy says, Ford getting hate. Yep. Ford, new Fords, and car Fords generally suck. The old stuff was really good. I would die on that hill, too. Back in the 80s, a Ford was the best vehicle on the road for work and for toughness and for strength. They didn't make anything better. Ford was the pinnacle of truckery. Not so much anymore. Now they're just aluminum garbage like everything else. Batshit says, Audi, if you can afford, it's okay. Land Rover. Right on. Yeah, they are expensive. Amanda says, right, Batshit. Chemtrail says, my friend was in need of me one day, and I flew from Fort Collins to Denver in 45 minutes. The needle was bouncing, and I had to be doing 160 easily. So smooth, didn't feel like I was going fast at all. Yes, that's another thing about those cars. The Oldsmobile Brougham and the Chevy Impala. Those cars will get away from you in a hurry because they don't feel like they're moving at all, and you're going 100 miles an hour and you don't even know it. They will get away from you. I love a Chevy Impala, the square ones from like 85 and down. I love those cars. I wish I'd had one. Linda says, Monkey, you sound like you got your license where Walter got his. Next to an oak tree? Yeah, sounds like it. Amanda says, LOL, Monkey, it sounds like you need bumper pads on your car. And Batshit Crazy says, 7.3-liter diesel, Ford, legendary. Again, I've never owned a diesel. I'm not a real man, I guess. Monkey Juice says, LOL, just too much partying in the small town, Linda. Right on. I understand that. And Amanda says, LOL, Monkey. And all right, it is 11:13, and we've reached the bottom of the chat and 501 views. I'm going to call it there. Have a great night. Thank you so much for the conversations. Thank you for all of the information that you put out. This has been so fun. I can't wait to see you tomorrow night for some Bible study, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Untethered Live. Have yourselves a great night. Peace be with you all. May God bless you, and may his grace light the way you go. And while you're out there going, be nice to people. I promise it'll change your life if you just intentionally be nice to somebody. Do that for me, won't you? And Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday. Thanks for watching.